Let's face it, fans, 96 has been a whole lot better than 95. The Aeros are hanging tough until things go their way. January was filled with great saves, close calls, and shots off the crossbar, too. But that's no reason to be down. A few weeks ago, Tippett's debut was a success against the Spiders, and tonight, they tangle again in their season finale. Saturday Night on Ice is next. From the Cow Palace in San Francisco, it's Saturday Night on Ice. Tonight, the Houston Aeros take on the San Francisco Spiders in live International Hockey League action. Very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Cow Palace. I'm Adam Gordon. The Aeros, well, they're without a win in 4 out of their last 5. They dropped a tough one last night to the Phoenix Roadrunners by a score of 5-2. And as I bring in my broadcast partner, Mike Greenley, Greener Dave Tippett thought that it wasn't maybe one of the better performances. They're going to look to rebound, hopefully get a few more goals. But if you're talking about getting more goals, perhaps Kelly Hurd might be the answer.
Well, certainly. In the first 12 games as a Houston Aero, he didn't have very many points. But now with 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 2 games and 2 goals last night, he looks like he's found the touch again.
And Kelly Hurd was an 80-point guy just a couple of years ago with the Fort Wayne Comets. And the guy that he played with on his line is the leading scorer of the San Francisco Spiders, John Purves.
Well, John Purves has always been a top-notch player. He had the 2 goals against the Aeros at the Summit, and he's going to be a big key tonight for the San Francisco Spiders.
He is not the only one, though. They also have a kid by the name of Andrew Rymsha that can put the puck in the net.
Well, he played in Austria last year, but he's back in North America and doing a great job along with Purves. These guys are kind of like a 1-2 punch. The Aeros are going to have to maybe watch both of these guys.
All right, and that takes us to our Oshman's game plan, brought to you by Oshman's Super Sports USA. And Greener, we were talking before the hockey game, trying to find a little consistency maybe in the effort tonight.
Certainly, game to game and consistency is important, but we're talking shift to shift and focusing on what you have to do. Secondly, the little things. In order to make that big save, that big hit, or score that big goal, I mean, you're going to have to do the little things like dump it in the proper corners and also make those good little passes. And third, the power play. 0 for 17 in the last 3 games. They're going to have to tighten that up a bit.
You could even take that a step further. 1 power play goal in just their last 23. Grant Sjerven in goal against Stefan Beauregard. When we return, Mike Greenley talks with head coach Dave Tippett. This is Saturday Night on Ice. UPN 20's Saturday Night on Ice is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, by Columbia Healthcare Partners, by Chrysler Plymouth, by Dodge, by Jeep Eagle, and by Whataburger.
Welcome to the Cow Palace. I'm Mike Greenley, along with Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros. And Dave, right off the bat, over the about last 10 games, your team has averaged just over 2 goals per game. Is this a problem? And if it is, are you in the market for maybe another bona fide goal scorer?
Well, it's something you always keep aware of the fact of how your team is scoring as well as goals against. You know, we brought our goals against down a little bit, but we could definitely score more. And you know, part of it is our power play has struggled as of late, and it's nice to get a goal or 2 a night on the power play, which hasn't come around. But we've got to capitalize on some opportunities. And as far as looking for another goal scorer, I mean, you're always looking to upgrade your team, and anybody with offensive skill or goal-scoring skill is always a valuable commodity.
Speaking of goal scorers, you just lost one last night in Sylvain Turgeon. How big of a loss is that for the Houston Aeros?
Well, that kind of just goes hand in hand, what you're talking about. You know, we're looking to score more goals, and then we lose our leading scorer, which is not an ideal situation. But on the other hand, we just got to look at it as a little bit of adversity, and we're going to try to battle through it. And the guys that we have to step up a little more, and I think we'll be fine.
Is game-to-game consistency a problem for the Houston Aeros right now?
Well, I mean, you want to be a very consistent team. I mean, last night was a situation where we try to take something positive out of every game, and last night it was a very simple lesson that you could never go out and not work your hardest or get outworked by a team, and that's exactly what happened last night. So that'll be something that'll be addressed, and hopefully the consistency will come along.
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck tonight, and thank you for spending some time with us.
Thanks, Greedy.
All right, that was Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros, and we'll be back to the Cow Palace right after this.
stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Benosa, Ruby Rose, and Ruvelin Deo from
A very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Cow Palace in San Francisco. The Aeros taking on the San Francisco Spiders, and the Aeros trying to pick up a win. They're without a win 4 of their last 5, and they're going to try to turn things around as they take on the Spiders, a team that they defeated 3-2 in a shootout back at the Summit. It was Dave Tippett's first game as head coach of the Aeros, and it was his first win. The Spiders are just coming off a 7-game road swing, and it was funny. What started their road swing was the 3-2 loss at Houston. Now they're home for 3, and it's against the Houston Aeros. Greener, I think, you know, when you look at the Houston Aeros coming into this hockey game, and it was one of the keys last night that they were never able to do, and that was establishing the tempo, and I think that'll be the key here in the first couple of minutes, getting the tempo for them. For the Houston Aeros, in goal, Grant Sjerven, 3-4 on the year at 2.71 goals against average, 90.5 on the save percentage. Sjerven hasn't seen some action due to the good play of Rob Dobson.
Yeah, Dauber did come in, and he played a couple good games, and so he played the good third period against Utah, so he was rewarded with the start the other night, and he played pretty well. It was kind of a tough game for everybody.
All right, the Aeros, a line of Mark Lamb, Kelly Hurd, Graeme Townshend, defensively Gord, Donnelly, and Miles O'Connor, as Stefan Beauregard was supposed to start tonight, but now it is going to be Corrado Mikalev that will pick up the start. It was Beauregard that played against the Aeros back on January 5th. San Francisco, a line of Bilodeau, Maley, Proulx, Rochefort, and Ferschweiler. You look at the scratches for Houston tonight, and that is a bit of a concern. Turgeon with the hamstring, Mike Maurice, and Mark Langway. Langway ran into the boards last night, and his whole left side is not feeling good. Aeros win the draw. They dump the puck into the San Francisco zone, and we are underway as the Spiders play it. Christian Proulx behind the cage. He'll jam one to the near side. Aeros get it back at center, and then O'Connor lost it and went all the way back into the Aero end. Sjerven slows, and Donnelly is there. Donnelly jammed one near side for Kelly Hurd. He's pushed in there as he battles for the puck. It's picked up by Ferschweiler. Back here's the drive by Rochefort, block, and the Aeros cleared on out. Rochefort a shot right on, and that is gloved by Sjerven, and he will hold on. Grant Sjerven trying to right his ship. His last 2 games, he has not been, I guess we could say, Grant Sjerven-like.
Yes, he had a little bit of trouble in the couple games ago, and then against Utah, he didn't make it past the end of the second period, as Rob Dobson came out for the third and played really well. But Dave Tippett, he decided to go back with Grant Sjerven, and that's one thing Dave Tippett, I talked to him about, and he likes to bring guys back because he says they always come out and give you that extra effort when you give them another chance, and that's what I'm sure he's hoping from Grant Sjerven tonight.
The Aeros win the draw, and it was Hurd who jammed one up for Yo, but Doyon fired it back into the Aero end. It was Robin Bawa, far side. Scott McCrory, the former Aero, knocked it back to the line. Here's a centering pass right in. John Purves couldn't get the shot. It was Sjerven that challenged him. Purves still the puck. Watched by Conroy. Kruppke, who's lost his stick, was able to hand pass it the length of the ice. It's not a hand pass when you do it in your own end. Back in the San Francisco zone. Mikalev threw it right off Conroy. And the Aeros trying to turn one in front, but it's Robin Bawa who comes away. Bawa in across the line. Sends one in, but it was stuck aside by Sjerven. And the Spiders Spiders dump it back into the near corner. Now Houston trying to move it along the boards. It was Hurd, couldn't clear. Bawa sends one far side. Purves tipped it back to the line. Here's the drive. Sjerven the save, and the rebound went to the far side as it was ripped in there by Cote. Alain Cote drilling the shot, and then it went wide. Here come the Spiders now again. John Purves across the line. Far corner, Jaques back to play. He's blocked by O'Donnell. Now Dale Craigwell sends one in. It's pushed away, and it's controlled by Scott Arniel. Almost 2 minutes gone in the first period. A scoreless hockey game, and Langway goes back to play. Langway, a pass up the left wing boards. Boyce couldn't clear. Now Malgunas pursues behind the net. He was run into behind the net. Freer in a battle with Langway. Puck came out to Malgunas, couldn't get a shot away. And here come the Spiders at center ice. Boyce, who's got a 4-game point scoring streak coming into tonight's game, fired it into the Aeros zone. Vadim out to play it. Jammed one along, but Proulx held it in. Proulx down the right side for Boyce, looking for Craigwell. Now the Spiders turn with a shot that goes up and over the glass and out of play. 2.5 gone in the first period, and a scoreless hockey game. Coming up in the first intermission, we'll be talking with Vadim. We've kind of gone at length about his story, how he just seems to continue to hang on, and his ice time, I think, is going to increase until they figure out what's wrong with Arniel.
And speaking of ice time, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be too surprised if you might even see him up on the wing, as Dave Tippett might be looking for help on the wing. You might even see Gord Donnelly as well. But of course, with Turgeon out and Maurice out, it's going to be an open spot maybe on that left side for a little while.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. And in behind the net, it is Miles O'Connor. Quick pass shot out at center. The Spiders go back to their own zone, and Rochefort cleared one out. Jumped on by Donnelly. Now Lamb, who had 2 assists last night. And it's back into the San Francisco zone. Puck came to the near side. Ferschweiler, right wing boards, couldn't clear. And now Lamb took one loose, trying to shove one. Chance for Hurd, right in. He shoot. Great save by Mikalev, and he'll hold on. So Kelly Hurd, who had 2 goals last night, trying to get one here, but Corrado Mikalev will hold on.
Well, Kelly Hurd, as we mentioned in the open, he has 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 2 games. So he's starting to light the lamp for the Aeros, and right there he had a good chance as he picked up the puck. It comes down, and he just picks it up down low, but a good defensive job in front, as it looked like Christian Proulx got the stick on the puck. Otherwise, he'd have been in all alone, and a couple good shots, but Mikalev was there to make the save.
Face off left side of Mikalev. Lamb trying to win the draw, but it was David Maley that did win it. It's controlled by San Francisco, but Lamb knocked it away. Maley far side. Rochefort tries to pursue. Bilodeau hooked down, and a penalty coming up to Gord Kruppke. Kruppke's going to get nailed as Brad Davis, our referee, is going to send Kruppke to the box 2 for the hook, and the Aeros will go short-handed. It is scoreless, and there's a timeout on the ice. We will do the same. No score from the Cow Palace. We will be right back after this. Face-off is in center ice as Kruppke in the box, 2 minutes, and it'll be Al Conroy with Mike Yeo. Defensively, the Aeros have Hurd and Kevin Grant. Spiders win the draw, and they'll start the power play from back behind their net. Mario Doyon will start it. Doyon, who's out there with Francois Grollo, Scott McCrory, John Purves, and Robin Bawa, the front 3. Puck goes into the Aeros zone. Grant goes back to play. He's watched by Bawa, trying to move it along the wall. McCrory trying to dig it out. McCrory has it tied up along the boards. Grant in there as well. Good job by McCrory. Now it is worked behind. Purves slides one back to the line. Doyon winding, shooting, stopped in front. I don't know if Sjerven got a piece of it or if it went off a Spider. Puck is in front. The Aeros take it away, and Yeo's at center, short-handed. Yeo meandering at neutral ice and gently rolls the puck back into the San Francisco zone, where Corrado Mikalev will slow. The Spiders have it. Here is Doyon. A pass back out center. Now picked up by Doyon again as he brought it across the line. Arniel pushed him off, but John Purves has it. Purves left side. The shot, and he hooked it wide of the net. Back to the line. It's controlled by San Francisco. Jammed down into the corner for McCrory. Now picked up Purves. Trying to get it back to McCrory. Knocked away by Donnelly, and the Aeros turn, and they'll shoot at the length of the ice. Power play down to 52 seconds to Gord Kruppke. Here come the Spiders again. McCrory jammed into the wall by Miles O'Connor. Now back to the line. line. Here is Cote, sends one down, and it's too far for anybody, and Arniel was able to clear it. Now after it, Mark Lamb, but Francois Grollo will beat Lamb to the puck. Grollo near side. Worked it up the right wing boards for Alain Cote. Here comes Craigwell across the line. Craigwell moving right side. Jam one far side. It's along the left wing boards for Greg Bullock. Bullock looks in front. Here's a centering pass. Stop. Loose puck back to the line for Cote. Cote winding, shooting. His shot went just wide. Back to the line. Bilodeau along the left wing. Here's a centering pass. The shot. Fanon. And there was Sjerven to cover up, and he will hold on. So the Aeros keeping the puck at the perimeter, but that shot by Rymsha, not much on it.
Well, Rymsha did have a good chance right in front. There was a few good chances for the Spiders, but they just couldn't get the puck on net, and they couldn't get any rebounds. Right away, the puck misses the net, but it'll come back out in front. It'll be dumped down here, and then it's fed right to Rymsha. Rymsha has a great opportunity to take the puck and shoot it, but I think he rushed it a little bit, and in doing so doesn't get any wood on it at all, and it'll just roll to Sjerven, and he'll cover it up smartly, and the Aeros only have 11 seconds left to kill off on the Kruppke minor.
Face off to the right side of Grant Sjerven. And Houston out there with Conroy and Yo again. Off the face-off, Aeros have it. Vadim booms one near side, and Yo chipped it down the ice. Power play down to 5 seconds, and it looks like the Aeros have killed this off, and we're 5 minutes into the first period. Still no score. Now Kruppke back out on the ice. It is controlled by Langway, and he'll move it up the ice. Langway at center. Cross-ice pass and over the line. Ian Boyce was ahead of it. It's a delayed offsides, and Slivchenko turns. Here's Vadim. Booms one ahead at neutral ice, and Langway is there. Rod Langway ripped it off the boards, but threw it off his own guy. Slivchenko knocked it down. Aeros trying to move it in. Jaques, but pushed away by Langway. Langway, who won a Stanley Cup with Montreal in 78, 79. But most of the season has played with the Washington Capitals. Here comes Ian Boyce across the line. A shot and a blocker save made by Grant Sjerven. Vadim played it far corner. The pass off for Slivchenko, and here come the Houston Aeros. Slivchenko center ice across the line. Dropped it for Conroy. Conroy trying to pump one down, but Slivchenko was drilled by Normand Rochefort. And the Spiders take over. Bilodeau charging up the left side. Bilodeau trying to bring it in. Conroy hooked him off the play. Loose puck picked up by Ferschweiler. Ferschweiler trying to bring it in. That was knocked away by Scott Arniel, and now David Maley takes over. Maley trying to advance the puck, could not. Rochefort up the left side. Aeros making some changes, and here is Al Conroy. Feathered it into the San Francisco zone. Spiders clear at the length of the ice. This will be an icing call as Kevin Grant goes back and whistle stops play. 13:43 to go in the first period and a scoreless hockey game. Fans, Houston Aeros hockey is sponsored in part by Bud Ice. Bud Ice is the official beer of the Houston Aeros and the IHL.
Grant Sjerven looking pretty sharp, moving around really well in this first few minutes. He hasn't really had a lot of shots to test him, but he stood up at the top of the crease. That's one thing you look at a goaltender right away, is to see where he's standing and where he's positioned when there are potential shots. And right now he's at the top of his crease, and he looks pretty sharp, so that's good for the Aeros if he stays that sharp throughout the game.
Puck is along the near side in the San Francisco zone. Here's Hurd, but fan on his shot, and the Spiders are off to center. Ferschweiler across the line, winding, shooting, the puck deflected, and it'll go out of play with 13:27 to go in the first. And Pat Ferschweiler, of course, the principal deal with the Jeff Medill trade, and like you said, I think that's a terrific deal for Kansas City, but I think Ferschweiler adds a lot to this club as well.
Well, certainly, we talked about the big scoring from Purves, and of course also you talk about Rymsha, but I mean that's a deal that almost is good for both teams. As you mentioned, you get Medill, who is really helping this team out offensively, but Ferschweiler also helping out here in San Francisco, so maybe a little bit for both teams here.
Off the draw, the Aeros have it. Hurlbut swings one back for Kevin Grant, and now Hurlbut takes over. Hurlbut left side, jams one out at center. It goes into the Spiders zone. Spiders clear it, and Houston takes over. Hurlbut back to his own blue line for Kevin Grant. Now Hurlbut turning. He is forechecked on the play by Andrew Rymsha. Aeros shoot at the length of the ice. Are they going to call it icing? We'll see. Back to get it Mario Doyon. It is icing. Play halted with 13:06 remaining in the first. No score. And we're coming up on terrific hockey as of late. Mark Lamb just lighting it up.
Well, with 2 assists last night, he again finds points in games where the Aeros couldn't find many as a team. He still helped contribute on both Hurd goals.
Shot hooked over the glass. Now bounced back in. Thought maybe it would clear the glass. Bounced in behind the corner. It was centered, but Gord Donnelly is there. Donnelly trying to work the puck ahead. It was jammed away by the Aeros, and here comes Lamb charging right side. Lamb at the circle, shoots, and there's the stop by Mikkola, a glove save, and he will hold on and will take timeout. 12:47 to go in the first period. It's the Spiders nothing, the Aeros nothing, and we'll be back to the Cow Palace right after this. Face off in the circle to the left side of Corrado Mikkola as Dave Tippett and the Aeros still scoreless with San Francisco. Mark Lamb to take the draw for Houston. A good chance a moment ago, but Mikkola made a nice save. Puck controlled by Houston. Here's Donnelly to the left side. O'Connor. Shot went wide. Picked up behind the net by Lamb. He tried to move one in front, but Rochefort chipped it away. Off the glass, bounced ahead, but the Aeros held it in. Townshend trying to work one down into the corner. It was centered, but missed everybody, and it comes back out at neutral ice for Miles O'Connor. O'Connor swings one to the fire side for Gord Donnelly. Here's Graeme Townshend. Run into the boards by Bilodeau. Bilodeau across the line trying to get through Donnelly. Not going to happen, but now a chance. Spiders center, but tipped away, and the Aeros are able to clear it out at center ice. Here's Rochefort. Sounds like a type of dressing you order at the restaurant, doesn't it? He'll turn in his own zone and work the puck ahead. And out at center ice, Christian Proulx. Whipped it back into the zone. Here's Gord Donnelly off the fireboards, and Townshend is there. He'll clear to center. At least I thought he'd went off McCrory and into the Aero end. Miles O'Connor. A pass near side Conroy. That is offsides, and play is whistled down. As you know, we're looking at Scott McCrory. This kid had a terrific game a couple of days ago against the Atlanta Knights. A goal and 5 assists in one hockey game for Scott McCrory.
Well, you talk about that game, and I'm sure Dave Tippett kept this in mind coming into the building here about the San Francisco Spiders. They were down 6-3 in that game, and they eventually came back and won it 8-7 in a shootout. So here's a team that I guess you can't take lightly. You have to be on top of them the whole game, and right now not doing too bad of a job.
Face off at center. McCrory against Conroy. Aeros win it. Yo turning it back, and Mike Hurlbut's got it. Snap pass up for Kruppke, and now Slivchenko at center. Slivchenko across the line with Conroy. Slivchenko tried to center, want to bounce back to the line. Hurlbut turning left point, jammed it behind the net, but Slivchenko couldn't corral. Here is Scott McCrory to gather in the loose puck. Worked it off the boards, batted to the line, and out at center ice. Here comes Rod Langway barreling across the line. Langway trying to move in, looks in front. He's centered for McCrory, jammed away, but picked up again McCrory. Sent it back behind the net, and Gord Kruppke was there. Kruppke up for Yo. His pass just too far for Conroy. McCrory couldn't clear. Here's Slivchenko. Ooh, he had a chance for Hurl, but couldn't get it to him. A pass knocked in there, jammed away as Conroy fights for the loose puck, and finally Grollo is there. Francois Grollo, a pass for McCrory. Ahead for Purves. Purves winding, shooting, and Sjerven about 25 feet out to cut down the angle. Nice play there. Robin Bawa right side, trying to turn into the slot. Bawa watched by Kruppke. Center, hit skates, loose puck, and a penalty coming up to the Houston Aeros. Mike Hurlbut did all he could. He jammed John Purves, and a penalty coming up, I believe, to Hurlbut. And the Aeros will be shorthanded for the second time tonight.
Well, a little confusion in front of the net, and I think Sjerven tried to go for the puck, but he fell over to the side as McCrory feeds Purves on the wing, and initially Sjerven makes a great pad save as Purves is a great shot and blasts one in there, but later on in front of the net, I think Hurlbut hauled Purves down a little bit as he had a chance at a loose puck, and so Hurlbut will get the 2-minute penalty, and the Aeros will have to kill another one off. San Francisco on the power play this year are at 14%, and in front of the net you see Purves digging away at it, but I think Hurlbut got a little bit too much of the stick and the body on that one and hauled him down, not giving him a chance to dump that puck in.
Puck is it's center ice. And the Aeros Mark Freer rolled it into the San Francisco zone, and the Spiders will play. Mario Doyon will play it from left to right. He's defensively paired with Grollo, as this is the second power play of the night for San Francisco. Pass at center for Ian Boyce as it's ripped into the Aero end. Now played by Donnelly. Swats it to the line. Held in at a point. Here's Grollo. Grollo over to Doyon. Right point. Tees up. Shoots. Went wide of the net. Rebound. Cleared back to the near side. It's out at center, and the Spiders go back to play. Grollo. Cross-ice pass for Doyon as we're just about at the halfway mark of the first period. Still no score now. John Purves. Right side into the arrow end. Worked away by Miles O'Connor. He'll shovel it ahead, but not out of the zone. Second effort. Arniel was able to bang it out at center. Doyon, right wing boards, trying to move one ahead. Doyon gently rolled the puck ahead. Grollo had nowhere to go, and he was forechecked by both Arniel and Lamb. Good job there. The Aeros doing a terrific job of killing off penalties here. Here is Grant Sjerven. He had a little trouble. Then he went to play it. And evidently, Brad Davis said Sjerven held it a little too long, and they will blow the play dead. And that will bring a face-off to the left side of Sjerven with 54 seconds left to Hurd.
Better to be safe than sorry in a situation like that, as San Francisco is coming in on the play, dumped it down, and Sjerven spun off his stick. Sometimes that puck is spinning, believe it or not, on the ice. It's spinning, and when it hits the stick in a situation like that, it could spin right off. The coach of the San Francisco Spiders, Perron.
He knows most of these guys from his days when he coached the Montreal Canadiens. As Brent Bilodeau's out there defensively, he's the top pick by the Montreal Canadiens. Perron knows a lot of these guys. I think when Langway won the Stanley Cup with Montreal, that was way before Perron took over, though. Here is Bilodeau to the right side for John Purves. Still on the power play. Wide shoots. That went off Kruppke. Back to the line, Alain Cote. Cote worked it back behind the net. Purves trying to slide one back out in front. McCrory is there. Base of the left circle. McCrory watched by Vadim with 38 on the power play. McCrory's got it. Moves in. Centered. Here's Bilodeau the drive, and that went off Kruppke again. Turned by Alain, trying to get it out of there. McCrory fighting for it. They wrestle on the boards. It squirms away, and it is Carl Vadim. He'll spin it along the boards, not out. Cote held it in. Cote cutting in. Cote centered, tipped away by Alain. Can he get it out of the zone? Yes, he will. Here come the Aeros, 2-on-1. Conroy, right side to the goal. And it was stopped by Purves. Loose puck. Oh, stopped in front. Here's his third shot. That went wide as Mikalev got in there and made the saves. Now into the corner. It is played by San Francisco. And the Spiders move to center. Cote through the neutral zone. Across the line. Dumped it in. Mikalev coming up big there. And the Aeros couldn't convert. Now at center, it's Freer. He's got three guys to beat. Freer along the boards. He is hammered in there by Christian Proulx, but Freer fighting for a loose puck. And is cleared out at center ice. Miles O'Connor left side. Got it into the San Francisco zone and back to play at Alain Cote. Cote bumped in behind. Good work by Freer. Centered Arniel. The shot stopped by Mikalev. Oh, great play there. And it's back into the Aeros zone. Up the right side, it is Arniel. Right wing boards Freer trying to cut in. And it was jammed away. The Aeros trying to hold it in left side. The shot by O'Connor knocked free. Picked up by San Francisco. Can they clear it? No. O'Connor trying to jam it down. And it shot the length of the ice. Boy, I'll tell you what, the Aeros, if they could light the lamp behind Mikalev, I guess you'd call it Mikalev light. And now they've got a fight breaking out at center ice between Jaques and who is
Dave Maley.
Well, you remember Dave Maley in the game at Houston. He got into it a little bit. And finally, the linesmen separated. While we sort this out, we have a timeout on the ice. 7:49 to go in the first period. It's the Aeros nothing, the Spiders nothing. Back to the Cal Palace after this. Saturday night on ice continues February the 10th at 7:30 from the Rosemont Horizon. The Aeros and the Chicago Wolves. And you can see all the action right here on UPN 20, and of course all the radio action on our radio flagship station, Super Talk 950 KPRC. Miners matching to Dave Maley and Steve Jaques. Well, now they've taken Jaques' penalty off. So an extra 2 to Dave Maley, and that means the Aeros are going to go on the power play. And Dave Tippett, I don't know what he's complaining about. He's got a power play, but I don't know. He's talking to Brad Davis right now. Brad Davis, who does most of his refereeing in the Western Hockey League, which is junior hockey, but he is another guy that is trying to make his way to the NHL. And that look on Tippett's face, I guess, says it all, but it doesn't say anything to me of what he's upset about.
I think he wanted maybe more than just 2 to Maley, as Maley grappled onto Jaques and wrestled him around. Jaques really didn't even drop his gloves. I don't know if either one of them did, but you look at the clock right now and they at least get a 2-minute power play.
Here is Mark Lamb at his own zone. A pass came to the left side for Hurd, but jammed it into the San Francisco end. That took a weird hop, came out in front. Aeros turning, going to get a shot away. No, it's going to come back to center ice. Aeros have to regroup. Lamb back at his own blue line, drifting back into his own zone, looks for the pass, slides one over to Mike Hurd, and he will send it back in behind the net and start the rush from right to left. Mark Lamb, pass out He will jam one along, and now Hurlbut's got it. Now picked up by Kelly Hurd, trying to move one in. Yo streaking down the left side, centered in front, but Conroy couldn't get the shot away. Conroy wrapped up by McCrory. Kicked away. Yo fights for it. He's got it in the left corner. Back for Conroy, trying to get away from McCrory. Here is Yo for Conroy. He's jammed off the puck, and the Spiders will shoot that over the glass and out of play. And I think that may have gone off a Houston Aero, and that'll bring the face-off out at center ice. Well, folks, coming up, Davy Jones, Friday, February 16th. Yeah, Monkeys Night. Davy Jones will be there. He's your celebrity host for the evening. So, folks, don't take the last train to Clarksville. Just get your tickets now, and you'll be a believer. Are you a believer?
I believe.
Kelly Hurd is a believer, as he's in the bench right now, but had a little power play time, and we've been waiting to see Kelly Hurd get more time on the power play. He's got that pretty good one-timer, and hopefully we'll see more of that as the season goes on.
He almost had a goal right off the bat in this game, so he seems to be sharp right off the bat here. Oh yeah, you're right. I hope to see him a little more of him, and maybe some more of him on the scoreboard as well.
The Aero power play numbers say it all, 15%. As it's controlled by Houston Freer. Ooh, turn the puck over. Here come the Spiders. A shot right on as Sjerven made the save on Craigwell. And it's picked up by the Aeros. Hurlbut meandering up and out of his zone. Rink wide pass for Lamb. Lamb turns it across the line. Langway chipped it back behind the net. Slivchenko is there as he looks in front. Here is Mark Freer, base of the circle, back to the line. Lamb getting set with 33 on the power play. A shot right on. Mikalev makes the save. Puck out in front. It was cleared, but not out. Here's Hurlbut. Line shoots. Deflected. Oh, and Mikalev had to lunge to his left, and the puck is cleared all the way down the ice. Out of the net, it's Grant Sjerven. And now Lamb at center. Quick pass as the Spiders are changing. Slivchenko jammed off the puck, and Proulx is there. And it'll back down into the Houston Aero zone. Power play is pretty much over as we're down to 5 seconds, and Ferschweiler will come back out on the ice. Vadim at center. Shoots one into the San Francisco zone. Conroy centered. Here's Yo. The shot. He scores! Mike Yo. And the Aeros score. I don't think it's a power play goal, and it just expired, but it is a 1-0 Aero lead.
You know, Mike Yo, I talked to him a little bit the other day, and he said, you know, I've been getting some great chances, but they're just not going in. Well, this one certainly did, as he fired it right upstairs over the glove of Mikalev, and a good job of breaking into the zone by Al Conroy. He also had Arniel on the back door, but Mike Yo elects to shoot it, and he takes his 11th goal of the season and gets it, and I don't think it was on the power play.
No. Here comes the Aero Hockey Club again. Left side, Arniel jammed one in behind the net, but Doyon chipped it away. Spiders turn. Can they clear? Yes. It'll go the length of the ice. Icing is indicated. Can O'Connor get there? It'll be Kruppke that gets there, and play is whistled down. 5:22 to go in this first period, and a 1-0 hockey game.
So the Aeros showing that second effort that they need, as Bilodeau is kind of grimacing after that last play, but they both went down there into the corner and threw the bodies around a bit. There was an icing call as Donnelly touched the puck, and it come all the way back down to the San Francisco zone. But the Aeros look like, you can even tell the difference from last night. It seems like they're the first ones to the puck this time, and they're the ones that are giving that second effort. Conroy did a great job of getting into the zone there and feeding the puck to Yo. And then Arniel also would have had a chance if Yo would have given it to him, because Arniel was on the back door. So you're looking at guys that are all of a sudden they're in position because they're thinking about and focusing on the game.
It is O'Connor with a shot that hits skates. They bang away at it, and Mikalev will cover up and hold on. The only assist on that goal to Yo was to Carl Vadim, who we said would be our first intermission guest. That's not right, though. I mean, that should be Conroy, shouldn't it?
I think it should at least be Conroy, maybe Vadim as well. But nevertheless, Mike Yo does get the goal. There's no doubt about that, as he put that upstairs. What a great shot.
Well, I guess you could say there's a lot of color in his play lately. And a face-off to the right side of Corrado Mikalev. Aeros have it. O'Connor steers one down the left side, trying to shake off a check from Doyon. Went back behind the net. Here's Yo trying to look out in front. Doyon chipped it away, but O'Connor takes it back at the hash marks. Left side, Yo trying to move one out in front. McCrory jammed that away. Loose puck, and Doyon couldn't clear. Here's Yo shooting, and it was deflected away. He had Conroy on the doorstep, but instead decided to shoot it. Puck along the far boards. It's gobbled up by McCrory. Rolled to the near side. Robin Bawa. Arniel worked it away. Aeros have to to regroup. Here's O'Connor shoving one back down the left side for Al Conroy. Conroy checked into the boards by Doyon. Puck frozen in the corner. They grind it out and finally whistle stops play with 4:39 to go. In the first period, the Aeros lead it on the 11th goal of the year from Mike Yeo. They say Valimont, but figure it out. It was Conroy that centered it.
It was Conroy that centered it, and maybe it was Valimont that fed it to him.
We'll sort it out when we return. 4:39 to go back after this.
When you need an auto part, you don't need to search high and low.
Just came in for some oil.
We were packed that night. Really busy.
I was in and out like that.
I noticed it when he started to back out.
I see this lady waving.
Caught him just in time.
She says my headlight's out. That's what I call service.
He could get an auto part anywhere. What he needed was high-low.
Hey guys, what do they call this? Bud ice? It's ice brewed. No, it's a bottle looks like ice. Bottle does look like ice. It's ice brewed, just a manhead. The bottle is jagged and it looks like ice. Ice brewed. Jagged. Hey, you guys! Take it outside. Okay, Coach.
Bud Ice, the official beer of the Hanson brothers.
Stupid machine took my quarter.
Nice. And a face-off to the right side of Corrado Micallef, scoreless. And here's Christian Proulx. He'll jam it in behind the net. As the Spiders have it, it's launched the length of the ice. Back to get it is Valimont. Icing is the call. And they'll bring the face-off all the way back into the San Francisco zone. And let's take a look at the Houston Aeros home calendar. And they have, as we talked about, the week off after tonight. And that'll be a nice week. And then they've got the San Francisco Fort Wayne Comet. Wow. Fort Wayne Comets on Friday and Sunday. And then on the 5th, the Aeros begin a long road trip. They'll be gone all week. They play in Atlanta, then Cleveland, then Peoria, and then Chicago. They finally added an assist to Conroy. So at least we got that settled. Here's a puck controlled by Houston. It is Jaques trying to work one down. Jammed by Craigwell back into the Aero zone, and Valimont gallops back to play it. Now we've got Jaques going to fight again. Who's he going with this time? Is it Maley again? No, Maley's in the box. So it is Bilodeau this time, and Jaques. And those two have had their bouts from their junior days when Bilodeau played for the Seattle Thunderbirds and Jaques with the Tri-City Americans. Jaques with an overhand left. Bilodeau, not really known for his fighting. He's a big 6'4" kid, but he's not much of a fighter, but handling himself pretty well here. Jaques roaring back with a left, trying to rock Bilodeau. Jaques giving up about 4 inches on Brent Bilodeau. And the linesmen get in there.
So you see the emotions already in this game. It's the first period, and you already see both teams definitely into this game. Last game, it was a little rough as well at the Summit, and it was a 3-2 win for the Aeros in a shootout. So any close game like that usually finds a little bit of rough stuff. And along the board, you see it as Jaques gives Bilodeau a couple extra on the side, and then Bilodeau comes after him, and Jaques says, hey, wait a second. And he gets back in there, and then they start going it. The linesman tried to get in there, but he made the right decision and stepped back. Otherwise, he'd have caught it right, then a left.
And see, you know, that's a classic, that's a great replay right there. We get a lot of calls about people that don't understand why the linesman let him fight. And that's a great example why you don't step in there.
Well, it's perfect because the guys are in there, they're going to grapple, they're going to hang on to each other and start going. And these guys, they know how to protect themselves in a fight, and so it's better just to let them tire each other out and then jump in there.
Yeah, this isn't like basketball where a referee and other teammates can come into the rescue and have balance on their court shoes, their basketball shoes. Here you're on skates and on the ice, and all it takes is one guy to slip up, get his skate up, and cut you seriously. And I think at this point, you know, no one really ever gets hurt from the fights, and you just let them get their frustrations out, and back to business you go. Time for the high-low auto part shots on goal, and what you can get in an auto part, you can get it anywhere, but what you need is high-low. 8-7. Spiders lead in that department, but the Aeros lead in the department that counts.
And also, I think they've had the better goal-scoring chances.
Yeah, that's a good point, Greener. I think they've come out much better here. We talked about establishing the tempo in this hockey game, and they have done that. Kelly Hurd trying to clear the puck. It's picked up by Townsend. Sliced to the line, not out. A shot by Christian Proulx and a save made by Sjerven. Now Lamb. He'll move it up ice. Lamb trying to spring Kelly Hurd camp, but now Townsend with a chance. Townsend makes the move, shoots, he scores! What a goal, Graeme Townsend! And the Aeros lead it 2-0.
I think Mikkola was a little surprised by Townsend on that one because I think the puck got a little bit away from Townsend, but he does slap it between his legs, and it's a 2-0 game.
I think Townsend was surprised on the move.
Well, Townsend can be surprised all he wants, but as it is, he gets his 14th goal of the season, but a great play as Lamb drops it back to him, and he just breaks it in, and he makes a very good move and just rifles one on 5-hole on Mikkola. I don't think Mikkola thought that he could do that, but he fires one 5-hole, and you know Townsend likes to go 5-hole. I remember practicing against him earlier on this year, and he likes to come down and really rip one 5-hole, and Mikkola was looking up in the air after that one and saying, how did I blow that one? But a good shot by Townsend and a great move right before that. I haven't seen him make too many of those before.
He was dangling like a pair of fuzzy dice in your rearview mirror. Oh, terrific play there by Townsend. Not known particularly for deft stick handling, but got the job done there, and it's 2-0 Houston. Terrific goal. Here is Miles O'Connor back behind the net with 3:30 to go in the first, and the Aeros open up a 2-0 lead. Langway back in his own end. Pass ahead for Robin Bawa. He'll send it up the left side, and it's Greg Bullock, left wing, trying to move in around Donnelly. Center, back to the line. Here is the shot. Hit the side of the net. That might have even cranked off the post a little. And the Spiders turning. Bawa, right wing, jammed into the corner there as the Aeros fighting for it. Here is Freer trying to move it up for Arniel. Cleared, not out. Cote, a shot stuck aside by Sjerven. They bang away at it. Kicked away. Freer came back to the rescue. And here comes Slivchenko at center. Hits the line, trying to get it around Cote. Freer battling, and the puck is cycled around the boards. Gobbled up by Ferschweiler. He'll move it out at center ice and shoot it into the arrow end. Sjerven out of the net to slow, and Kevin Grant is there. Grant from right to left. He will send the puck to Carl Valimont. Pass to the near side for Yo. And now it is Malgunas with Conroy. Shooting, stopped by Mikkola. And Conroy was about a second early getting there. If Conroy was about a second later, he may have had a chance at that rebound. Now John Purves' shot. Blocker save Sjerven. Loose puck McCrory. Jammed away. Now David Maley in there, but it was worked away by Valimont. And here come the Houston Aeros. Carl Valimont at center ice. He will shoot one into the San Francisco zone. Yo goes in there. Jammed to the far side, and Maley has got it with 2:13. Hurd and Mark Lamb get the assist on Townsend's 14th of the year. And then we're down to the 2:05 mark. Here is San Francisco's John Purves at center ice. Purves across the line, dropped it for McCrory. McCrory trying to work it down. Here's a chance. Maley, the shot blocked by Hurd, and the Aero defenseman will shoot at the length of the ice. Out of the net, Mikkola. He'll send one all the way back at center, but jumped on by Hurd. He'll shoot it back into the San Francisco zone. Lamb is in there. Rochefort chipped it away, and it's back at center. Kruppke to Kelly Hurd. It went behind the defenseman of Christian Proulx, and we'll get an offsides call with 1:34 remaining in the first. 2-0 Houston.
So with Hurd getting that assist, he has 3 goals and 2 assists in his last, well, now 3 games, and that's just good. He's starting to find the board. He's starting to find the mark, and just by doing that, Dave Tippett, head coach of the Houston Aeros, will start putting him out in those kind of situations, and he's going to need a guy like Kelly Hurd out there to do things like that. We talked about Sylvain Turgeon being injured, and we're not sure the severity of it. It's a pulled muscle, but sometimes those can nag you for a good week or two.
Here's a puck that's knocked in by Andrew Rymsha into the Aeros zone. It's sliced away, and the Aeros have got it. Hurd out at center for Conroy, trying to move it around Christian Proulx, and now Conroy and Proulx go at it. Conroy looking at Proulx, and they're going to go. Conroy going after Christian Proulx, and here we are. They're locked up. Proulx with stiff right hand. Conroy trying to get back with a left. And right now more of a wrestling match.
This is where a guy like Conroy, who is the smaller man in this contest, can take advantage of the bigger guy. He gets in so close that Proulx has to punch the back of his head. He can't even get any good shots, and all Conroy does is keep giving him uppercuts, and that's where Conroy comes in and gets the advantage on a situation like that.
They're continuing to lock up right now. Not much in the punch department. A little left by Proulx. Not much on it. The linesmen get in there and separate them. You'll hold your breath on this one because Conroy had his gloves off way before Proulx did in trying to bait him into it. And you just hope for the Aeros' sake and Al Conroy's sake, he doesn't get an instigator. I don't think so, but you never know when the gloves come off first like that.
Well, Conroy assisted on the first goal, and you don't want to lose him, even if he hadn't. I mean, he is really a big part of this Houston Aeros lineup as far as leadership. And yeah, that would be a big loss for the Aeros. But right here you see Conroy get in. He gets hit a little bit up high, and so he gives a little bit back, and eventually they start going at it. And I think a referee sees them both jostling. And yeah, he did drop the gloves first, but maybe a ref will perceive that as both of them getting in there right away. You can see the referee right now asking his linesman, and that might be him asking him if someone dropped their gloves earlier, or maybe just asking where the face-off goes, because the puck did, I think, go out of the end of the stands. But nevertheless, I don't think the Aeros are going to get it here. It's a 5-on-5, so a break for the Aeros, and you know, sometimes you need those kind of breaks.
Brad Davis. We talked about him last night. He was a referee in Phoenix. We mentioned and want to talk about it more for our viewers and anyone that didn't hear it last night. His father is Warren Davis, who is the chief scout of the Edmonton Oilers and one of the main architects as far as scouts are concerned, working with the Oilers organization, Glenn Sather, and building the Stanley Cup dynasty that they had in the 80s. It was shot by Hurlbut and rammed just wide of the net, and the Spiders turn and clear it out at center ice. Here is Gord Kruppke, ripped it into the San Francisco zone. Rado Mikolaev slows it, and here is Rod Langway with exactly 1 minute to go in the first period. 2-0 Houston. Rochefort right side, bangs one out at center ice, knocked down Hurlbut, but he misplayed it. Here's Rymsha right in on goal. Stopped by Sjerven. He will hold on. The Aeros kind of bobbling it there at the blue line as Hurlbut misplayed the puck. It got behind him, but a nice save from Grant Sjerven on Andrew Rymsha.
Grant Sjerven has to stretch out a bit on this one as the puck was a little bit misplayed, jumped up in the air. I think it was Hurlbut who tried to jump up in the air, and it went over his head. And Rymsha comes in with a good opportunity. Kruppke getting back nicely, but the blocker save is the key play here as Sjerven gets his blocker on it and then freezes the puck as it drops down between his legs. And you can see the Aeros busting in there right afterwards on the back check, which just shows how hard they're working. But a good job by Sjerven making the save on that one, and another good job by the Aeros getting back and helping them out.
Now that is terrific camera work by Paul Bykowski and the rest of our UPN crew. That was terrific. I didn't know we had a net cam tonight. Puck is back into the...
Let's hope we don't have to use it.
Well, from that end, yeah. When the Aeros are there. Hopefully we can use it a lot in the second period when we switch ends. Puck is back for Graeme Townshend as he'll take it in behind the net. Townshend puts one to the near side for Kelly Hurd. Couldn't advance the puck. Still in the Aero end. And it's back out at center ice. John Purves with 20 seconds to go in the period. Got it into the Aero end. Purves in after it. Robin Bawa first one there. Bawa base to the left circle. Center one. It hits skates. It's knocked away. Purves turns one back to line. Here's Goyon whining, shooting. That cranked wide. Now picked up at the left side and back out at center ice. Francois Grollo with 2 seconds left in the period, and that is it. Horn sounds, and we are through with a period of action. So a great period for Houston. They came out and established the tempo that they needed to. Got some good saves from Grant Sjerven, and they got goals from Graeme Townshend and Mike Yeo, and they lead this hockey game by a score of 2-0. When we return, hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with Carl Valimont. This is Saturday Night on Ice. Back after this. Back at the Cow Palace, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, a 2-0 hockey game. And well, I'll tell you, the Aeros really came out in the first 5 minutes and established themselves and controlled that entire period.
Well, they certainly did, and you can just tell the guys were focused and ready to maybe go out and win this game. They came out and worked really hard. They got into the physical part of the game, and they did a lot of back checking. And one other thing, they were the first guys to the puck quite often.
And you know, one guy that probably has some pretty good thoughts about that first period is defenseman Carl Valimont. What did you think about the first?
Well, I thought we come out really hard at them, and we took some early penalties, which stopped our momentum a little bit. But once we killed off those penalties, I think it generated a little bit of, you know, get up and go with the guys, and we went out and got 2 quick goals there halfway through the period.
Carl, we kind of joked earlier on when we talked about doing this interview in the first intermission, and you said, hey, maybe I'll get a point so we have something to talk about. Why don't you talk about that assist that you got?
Well, it was just at the end of the power play there, and Miles O'Connor made a nice pass to me, and I dumped it in the corner, and Al Conroy was first on the puck and passed out to Mike Yeo, who made a nice shot top shelf and scored.
You know, Carl, I'm looking at this hockey game and thinking about the 4 out of the last 5 that the hockey team has struggled. I think if you throw out the Phoenix game, if you forget about last night's, even though the Aeros had dropped those 3 in a row last weekend, this hockey team seems to be really turning their play around.
Well, we certainly have, Adam. You're right. Ever since Dave Tippett took over and installed his new system there with the left wing lock, we've been really successful. All the guys are on the same page now. We know what we have to do each and every night. And if one of the guys doesn't do his job, he lets down the rest of the guys. So you know how it is. All the guys want to do well for each other, and we've done that so far.
Carl, I guess Adam and I'm sure a lot of other people as well, look at you as a kind of player that comes and plays hard every time you do play. Has your role changed at all for this Houston Aero team now that there's so many guys that are healthy?
Well, there's no doubt about it, Greeny. When Dave Tippett took over as the head coach, we had 8 healthy guys, and I was the 9th. In the meantime, they loaned Curtis Hunt to Michigan. He told me that my playing time would be cut down a little bit with all the healthy guys. And I told him I'm going to work hard for the team, do whatever it takes. If that entails a little bit of coaching or a little bit of statistician work, whatever it is, I'm going to do it to help the Houston Aeros.
Carl, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, that's defenseman Carl Valimont has an assist in that first period. The Aeros lead this hockey game by a score of 2-0. And, you know, I guess when you look at things moving into the second period, this is a physical hockey game, too, which is good for the Houston Aeros.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, both teams' power plays aren't that strong, so the Aeros maybe can afford to take that extra little hit in front. As you saw earlier, Mike Robut took an extra little bit of body on Purves, and you're going to have to do that. So maybe we'll see a little more rough stuff in the second period.
All right, 2-0 in favor of the Aeros. We'll have more from the Cow Palace after this. 2-0, the Houston Aeros lead the San Francisco Spiders in the first intermission. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlee. Just alone looking at that first period compared to what we saw in most of the hockey game last night. We talked about the Aeros jump, but just their passing in general looks really effective tonight, moving the puck up well.
Well, I talked to Dave Tippett a bit before the game, and he said that's one of the things that they're going to have to work on is the little passes, and that's why we picked that as one of our Oshman game plan keys, and that is the little things. You got to do all the little things right, and that usually helps you do the big ones right.
Are you concerned? Carl Valimont talked about the penalties. You know, they took a lot of penalties. I thought that hurt them last night, and they took a couple here early, although it hasn't hurt them per se. Is that a concern with the discipline?
Well, discipline is always a factor. San Francisco's a team that's a lot lower in the league as far as taking penalties. They don't do it a lot, so I guess you're going to have to bring down your penalties a little bit, just so you don't give them too many power plays, because you give anybody enough power plays, and they're eventually going to put one in on you.
All right, let's take a look at the scoring summary from that first period. The Aeros got on the board first as Mike Yeo got his 11th of the year. Carl Valimont and now Al Conroy has been added. He has an assist at 14-17. Aeros led it 1-0. They then made it 2-0 on some deft stick handling from Graeme Townshend. Townshend is 14th from Kelly Hurd and Mark Lamb at 16-11. And the Aeros have a 2-0 lead in the hockey game. And I'll tell you, looking at the way these things are going, the Aeros have a nice week off here. And then I think, you know, they've got Fort Wayne in that weekend, and the Aeros really need to come away with a couple of wins against Fort Wayne, I think, Friday and Sunday.
Well, they certainly do. Fort Wayne's a team that's just over 500, so they've shown that they can win, but they've also shown that they're susceptible to losing. And I think if the Aeros continue with the kind of play that we're seeing right now in the first period, you might see a couple wins next weekend, but right now they have the second and third period to worry about.
And once again, Kelly Hurd's having a strong hockey game, and that's really good. Like we talked about, the 2 goals last night, he almost had one in the early going tonight.
He certainly did. You get someone like Sylvain Turgeon out of the lineup, and as we said, even when he doesn't even have a strong game, he usually pitches in with a goal or an assist or something. To have someone like Kelly Hurd and Graeme Townshend, for that matter, come up and add with the goals and assists that they are, it's just going to help this Houston Aero lineup. It shows that they're getting pretty deep, and that's good for them.
2-0, Aeros lead it. When we return, we'll have the highlights from that first period. This is Saturday Night on Ice. First intermission, Aeros lead 2-0. Before we look at the highlight screen, I just wanted to get your thoughts of Grant Sjerven. Here's a kid that we talked about last couple outings, especially like against Utah, not playing. He played average, let's just say that. He played pretty average, but tonight seems to be playing very well.
Well, and you asked me that earlier on in the game, and I said, I looked at them and the way he was handling the situations. There weren't a lot of shots early, but he was standing on top of that crease pretty well, and he looked like he was challenging. And sure enough, later on, he made some great saves because of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we look at the highlights, Corrado Mikolev started off very well for San Francisco, but Mike Yeo finally put an end to that.
Well, Valimont makes a smart play here. He doesn't have very much, so what he does is he dumps it in the corner. It's one of those things that we talked about, making the little plays and doing them right. And Conroy just outworks the San Francisco Spiders, and Mike Yeo puts it upstairs over the glove of Mikolev. A great goal for Mike Yeo.
And Yeo getting back with his 11th, but then the Aeros come back again, and this is an unbelievable play from Graeme Townshend.
Well, Mark Lamb gives a drop pass to Townshend. Townshend makes a shifty move there and just shoots it hard 5-hole on Mikolev. Mikolev's a little stunned on the play because I don't think he realized that Townshend was going to fire at 5-hole, but he did. He beat him underneath the stick.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Graeme Townshend on that play. I thought it was a terrific play, and he was able to bury it, and the Aeros lead it 2-0. Let's take a look at the first period stats, and they're brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers. San Francisco outshot Houston in that first period 13-9. However, they say that San Francisco had more scoring chances. I disagree with that number on my own thought, but the Aeros did win in the face-off department. They say 7-4. I think the Aeros had more of the chances.
Well, I certainly do as well, but you know, that's all part of stats. But the thing is, the Aeros do have the most important one, and none of the 2 goals.
Yeah, a little 2-blot lead here to go into the second period, and I'm sure if you're Dave Tippett, you're telling your troops not to let up. The Aeros at this point, I think, have to start winning these kind of hockey games. I think they let last night get away from. I think Phoenix is a team that they could beat, and they need to start winning these teams as they start getting into the rush toward the playoffs.
I think so too. With 2-0 lead on Atlanta, and they extended it when they played them a couple of games ago. Hopefully they can do the same to San Francisco.
Well, let's see what they can do in the second period against the San Francisco Spiders. That is next when we return. We'll be back after this. 2-0, the Aeros leading the San Francisco Spiders from the Cow Palace. A good look at it there for those of you watching on UPN 20. This is the building that was the home, I think, was it 2 years for the San Jose Sharks. They've had wrestling, they've had rodeos in here, and not a bad crowd here this evening to catch the Aeros and the Spiders. And this is I don't remember when this building was built, but this building has been the scene of some terrific sporting events in the past. And the fans, you know, the Spiders got off to the slow start attendance-wise, but have slowly started turning it around because I think the fans realize that this is some terrific hockey. It's kind of tough when this is a city of champions. San Francisco 49ers have won a Super Bowl or 7 or something like that. The San Francisco Giants are a good draw, but hockey, I think, it belongs in this city when done properly, and the crowd is here tonight. A nice little crowd on hand to see the Spiders and the Aeros. We are about ready to start period number 2. Grant Sjerven making the saves in that first period, stopping all the shots. His 13 of 13. Corrado Mikolev 7 saves on 9 shots. We've got a moment or two. Let's look at some scores of the IHL. Las Vegas over Cleveland 6-3. In the third period, the Ice Dogs and the Detroit Vipers are tied at 2. Other scores in the IHL: Indianapolis 2, Fort Wayne 2 in the second. Those are 2 teams the Aeros are also keeping an eye on. Atlanta leading Kansas City in the second. Atlanta lost last night. We reported it was a loss. That's what they told us. It was actually a loss in a shootout. Minnesota over Utah in the second, 3-1. In the second, it's Orlando 2, Cincinnati 1. And finally, Peoria 1-0 over the Michigan K-Wings in the second period. Mark Lamb, Graeme Townshend, Kelly Hurd with Gord, Donnelly, and Miles O'Connor. The Spiders line up with David Maley along with Greg Bullock. Also out there is Pat Ferschweiler. Defensively, they have Ron Langway and Norman Rochefort. Spiders win the draw, send it back in their own end, but Langway turned it over to Townshend, sends behind the net for Lamb, wrapped it back. Townshend trying to move one out in front. Mikolev wasn't sure it was there, and it's jammed back. Here's a shot right on, and Mikolev got a piece of that one, and then it went up over the glass and out of play. 19:43 to go as we're just underway in the second period. 2-0 Houston, and a face-off will remain in the San Francisco zone.
Well, Langway dumps it up the boards, and it's eventually intercepted and moved around. The puck's eventually centered out in front, and I don't think Mikolev totally knew where it was as Lamb spun around and backhanded it back towards the other side of the net. He almost got caught on one there.
They brought the face-off to center ice. I thought it went off a Spider player, but oh well. is at center ice, and here's Greg Bullock. Rolls one to the near side for Ferschweiler. Sends one in. Dave Maley sends one in, but Donnelly worked it away, and here come the Houston Aeros romping to center. It's a pass for Townshend, barreling down the right side with Hurd. Townshend sends it cross ice. Lamb hammered it too far for Hurd. It came to Townshend, sends it back along the boards. The Aeros were trying to throw it back and forth behind the net, but they couldn't really do anything with it. And finally, Langway's got Townshend wrapped up along the boards, and play whistled down. Rod Langway, who was born in Formosa, Taiwan, and he's 39 years of age, and I should say 39 years young, and you're looking at him. I think I'm obviously the only player in the IHL that does not wear a helmet, as he got in before 79. That was the rule. If you got into the NHL before 1979, you could wear a helmet. After 79, you're required to wear it. I'm trying to think who's left. There's Craig McTavish of Philadelphia that still doesn't wear one. I think that's it.
Yeah, there's not too many. Not too many guys of the no helmet team left.
A dying breed that, of course, will become dead, completely extinct shortly. Here is Hurd on a drive. That went wide of the net. Back to the right side. Kruppke steers one down for Arniel. It went behind the cage. Picked up by Scott McCrory. Feathered to the line and out at center ice. And here comes John Purves. Purves hits the line, looking for Grollo. Purves pulled up at a left point, jammed away. Aeros go after it. Arniel, he's taken into the boards by Robin Bawa. Here's McCrory now. McCrory back to the line. Oop, they couldn't hold the puck in, and Yo's got a chance. Here comes Yo, right in on goal. He shoots, and the shot went wide as McCrory goes firing in there. Both McCrory and Yo are shaken up.
Well, Mike Yo couldn't move as McCrory was right on top of him, and Mike Yo's shoulder goes dead into the boards. And you know, that's a second injury like that we've seen in this many games. Laniel's wasn't as severe, or didn't look as severe as that, as he was hit along the boards, but his shoulder did go into the boards and as he hit him. But Mike Yo went sliding into the boards, and he turned his head just as he got to them, and it's his shoulder, I think, that might have taken the majority of the blow on that one. As you can see, Jerry Mines in there putting his hand down in there and moving his shoulder around a bit. But Mike Yo was off to the races as he had a chance, and eventually coming into the picture, Scott McCrory, who rode him off nicely. Mike Yo gets a bit of the shot, but as he got hit, he slides into the boards, and neither one of them can get out of the way as Mike Yo takes full impact on the boards on his left shoulder. As you see him spin and turn, you never like to see those boards coming up at you, but he does take it on the shoulder, and hopefully the Aeros don't lose him. He has played phenomenal for the Aeros this year, and I'm surprised actually that the Aeros haven't seen him be lost to a team maybe in the NHL somewhere as far as being signed. He's played great. He does all the little things right, and he also throws some points up on the board. He has a goal tonight, and they're helping him up, and this doesn't look too good for the Aeros.
Well, they've got him sorted out, and they'll move him off. Yo is holding his shoulder. Well, while they sort that out, we've got a quick moment here. Let's take a quick timeout. It's 2-0 Houston. We'll have everything sorted out when we return. This is Saturday Night on Ice. Face off to the left side of Corrado Mikalev. Lamb wins the draw back. Here's Hurd with a drive, and Mikalev makes the save, and he will hold on. That's the little things, too, that this is a quick little shot off the face-off that Dave Tippett wants to see his guys do a little bit more of, even though, you know, the goaltender saw it all the way.
Well, you remember last night, Hurd's both goals came off shots that might not normally have been taken and actually might not normally have gone in. The first one, he was on a sharp angle and beat the goalie 5-hole, Jamie Storr, and then the second one was from the top of the circle. Both were shots that some players might not take and therefore wouldn't have the opportunity to score. Hurd took them and got 2 goals last night, and he has an assist tonight.
Here is Rod Langway for San Francisco. Puck to the line, held in. Hopefully we'll get an update on Yo for you as soon as possible. Townshend in the corner. Had it knocked back as the Aeros move it back to the line. It was worked away, and the Spiders will clear it. No, not out. Bilodeau had a chance but couldn't, and Townshend wrestling along the boards. Now Lamb, right side, cutting in, looks for a centering pass. Mikalev sticks it aside, jumped on by Bilodeau, and it's out at center ice. A cross ice pass picked up Maley, but that is offsides, and play is whistled down. 2 minutes gone in the second period, and the Aeros lead it by a score of 2-0.
Well, Townshend in front kind of misses an opportunity. Lamb sweeps the puck in front, and it's cleared out, but Townshend overskates the puck as it comes right out between his legs. If he'd had his stick, or if he'd even seen it, I think he might have been screened on it by Langway, skating right up behind Langway, but if he'd have been maybe a foot or two back, he might have got that opportunity and buried his second one of the game. Good job by Lamb to feed it in front and create some opportunities.
Face off at center, and the Arrows have it. Or Spiders have it, nearly taken back by Freer, though. And it's shot ahead. Now the Arrows have it. O'Connor, pass left side, Slivchenko. Then he's hammered off the puck. A big hit. A good play there. And now a centering pass is Grohl lower the boom on Slivchenko. Puck centered, he scores! Vadim Slivchenko, after he was drilled by Francois Grohl, comes right back and scores a goal. It's 3-0 Houston.
And give credit to Mark Freer in behind the net there. He just centered it real quick off a backhand, and Slivchenko, after being leveled, gets up quick and gets back into position. That's what makes a play work. And Slivchenko buries it on the inside of the post. San Francisco didn't think it was a goal, but the referee called it, and he gets hammered here.
That's almost a penalty.
Well, I don't know.
Did you see the knee?
Maybe a little bit of the knee, but then he gets worked over a bit. But good job by Slivchenko to get back into play. Freer gets him behind the net, and he centers it, and there you go. Slivchenko gets him back on that play. Sometimes you want to get them back by hitting them. Well, I think Slivchenko got him back on the scoreboard where it's going to count, and a good job by Freer. That's a nifty little backhand pass, and Slivchenko just buries it far side. It's 3-0 Houston Aeros.
And that's the end of Corrado Mikalev. In comes Stefan Beauregard, and Beauregard's numbers come in at 17, 16, and 6, 3.48 goals against average, 89.1 on the save percentage.
He's third in the league in wins, first in the league in losses at 16, third with 17 wins, and he also leads a few more categories. He's leading in minutes at 2309. He's leading in saves at 1,097. So he's in every category. He's played quite a bit this year.
Here come the Spiders, though. A pass knocked away by Hurd. And Kelly turning in the far corner. Jabbed one up the wall. Here is Craigwell trying to work one down. It was chipped away by Hurd, but the Spiders have one in. A centering pass knocked away. Here is Doy on the drive. Stop Sjerven. Rebound. Sjerven the save, and he'll hold on. Wow, Grant Sjerven in front as Ian Boyce was trying to tap one by there. But Grant Sjerven will hold on.
Those are the toughest saves to make sometimes, is off the rebound in close, because you've made the save, you're trying to regroup, and then the puck's coming at you again. And a good job by Sjerven. The hard shot from the point. He makes the save, but there comes the rebound right away. He gets that paddle down, as he does so well, and freezes the puck. A good job by the Arrows swarming around there to clear it up. But Sjerven looking really sharp tonight, as we said real early on in the game, and he doesn't allow anything there. It's still 3-0 Arrows.
Slivchenko with the goal, by the way, as you said, is 18th from Mark Freer at 219. That's how officially that goal will read. And a face-off to the right side of Grant Sjerven. Spiders win the draw. Alain Cote, a shot and a right pad save made by Sjerven. Picked up by the Spiders. Center. Here's the shot by Purves. Right on. And Grant Sjerven will hold on with the save. 3 minutes gone in the second, and a 3-0 hockey game.
With that goal, as Purves gets a good shot on net, but that goal by Slivchenko, he now leads the Arrows in goals at 18. Of course, Turgeon has 17 goals, and the next closest guys are Al Conroy at 15, as well as Scott Arniel. But a good shot by Purves, and there's Kevin Grant, big Kevin Grant, lowering the boom on Purves. Next time Purves takes a shot, you better be sure he's going to be looking up for somebody to hit him, and that's why you need to finish your checks.
Off the face-off, Spiders win it again. Here's Cote waltzing down the left side. Couldn't meander in front. Cote still with it. Centered. And I think Sjerven may have gotten a stick on that, as well as a couple other guys, perhaps. Face-off will, I think, be brought out to center ice. It went off the Spider stick, they're saying. It might have been Scott McCrory.
Well, you know, you talk about the old goaltenders of way back, or Johnny Bauer, and that's one thing. They were artists with their sticks, not allowing any passes to come within 2-3 feet of the crease like that. And I think Sjerven got a piece of it, maybe a San Francisco player as well, but a good job by Sjerven to get that stick out there and deflect it away. It's really dangerous. A lot of players these days will just throw that puck across the crease because it often hits skates or shin pads or something, sometimes even sticks, and goes in the net. Good job by Sjerven. He looks pretty sharp tonight.
Freer, Arniel, Slivchenko with Grant and Jaques. Sticks down, drop of the puck, and it is controlled by the Spiders in their own end. John Purves wings one, rink wide, right off Arniel though. Jaques picks it up, moving down the left side. Jaques bumped by Cote, sends it back behind the net for Freer, tried to center it, knocked away by Ferschweiler. Aeros trying to move it, Slivchenko in the corner, knocked away by McCrory, and here comes Bawa out to center ice. Bawa through the neutral zone, hits the line, dropped one back, swept away by Jaques, and here come the Aeros the other way. Freer, a man beat. Freer right side, pulls up, looks for the pass. He's drilled off the puck by Cote. Freer couldn't find anyone to pass to when he finally got hammered off the puck. Here is Cote. Pass for Bawa, chipped away. Aeros trying to advance it, cannot do it. At center ice, Bawa. He will hit the line. Got by Jaques, trying to get by Freer. He centered it. Aeros knocked it away. Now Purves turning. John Purves, the wrist shot blocked by Bawa. Bawa sends one in. Here's a pass. Cote shoots, and the Aeros, Kevin Grant got over there to deflect it over the glass and out of play.
You know, I talked about defensemen getting into the San Francisco's face. Alain Cote was in front of the net. He spins around, but guess who's there? Kevin Grant again. And Kevin Grant gets in there and forces a San Francisco player to take a shot maybe that they wanted to have more time to do. But a good job by the Aeros forcing him on that play. They work it into the zone. Bawa fighting off some checks there. Then he throws it in front. And watch Kevin Grant right up on the next play as it's centered. And it's as soon as he centers it, Cote turns around and tries to fire it. But Grant's right there to deflect it and to take the body.
2 minutes are going up to Bawa, I believe, unless he's just getting 10. They put him in the box. I think he's going to get 2 for a slash, though. He slashed Slivchenko after the play, and I think he's going to get 2 for that.
But as I said, good job by Kevin Grant, and 2 minutes does go up on the board to Bawa. It's Bawa with penalty, and the Aeros will have a chance to really widen this lead out. You know, last time the Aeros had this kind of lead, it was against Atlanta 2 games ago, and I think one of the big things that really killed Atlanta was the fact that when the Atlanta Knights came back and scored a goal to make it 3-1, it's right now it's 3-0 for the Aeros. But when they came back and scored and made it 3-1, the Aeros went right back down and made it 4-1, and that really killed them. The Aeros not wanting to give anything up, and here they have a chance to make it 4-0.
Kelly Hurd right side, hooks one behind the net for Graeme Townshend. He's drilled by Christian Proulx. Puck behind the net, Rochefort jammed off by Hurd, who went into the corner to get it. Kelly Hurd kicked one down. Townshend behind the net, a bouncing puck, sends one over to the right side for Conroy. To the line for Lamb, quick pass, Hurlbutt sends one back to the far corner. Aeros trying to set it up, it came in. Beauregard knocked it away, but then Townshend got it back behind the cage, playing peekaboo, trying to look in front. Townshend to the line, right point, Hurlbutt. Here is Lamb, steers one to Conroy, back to the line. Lamb, one-time shot, stop. Here's the chance for Hurd. It goes! Kelly Hurd between the circles, a power play goal, 4-0 Houston.
Well, Hurd made sure of that one. He had the whole net to shoot at as Beauregard in for Mikalev and wasn't able to help on that situation. The rebound came out. He made a save on the first one, but a scramble in front. The puck squirts loose, and Kelly Hurd, with 2 goals last night, has an assist tonight and now a goal. As a good job by the Aeros passing it around, a good shot, and Townshend in front causing trouble, and Beauregard's looking for the rebound, but by the time he finds it, it's behind him in the net as Hurd's right on the doorstep, has all kinds of time, nobody pressuring him at all, and he dumps it in the open end. And here's that net cam that we wanted to see so much. If you're enjoying the game on UPN 20, Hurd just blasts it upstairs, and it's 4-0.
Off the face-off, here's Gord Donnelly. He'll turn it up the side to the right wing for Slivchenko. Slivchenko for Freer, moving down the right wing, trying to get around Langway. He centered it, loose puck, and the Spiders clear. Out at center, Craigwell to the left side, Boyce. He's drilled by Donnelly. Boyce went back behind the net, trying to run in through O'Connor, and it's gobbled up by Houston. Gord Donnelly. Back is Langway. Rod Langway threw it off the skates of Freer, and now Slivchenko will turn across the line. Slivchenko trying to feed for Freer, and the Spiders have it. Andrew Rymsha, but that came over 2 lines, and play halted with 14:38 to go in the second. 4-0. The Aeros lead it. They have goals tonight from 4 different goal scorers. Yo, his 11th. Townshend his 14th. Slivchenko his 18th, and now Kelly Hurd. He gets his goal, and that is goal number 10 on the year. Jean Perron, the head coach of the Spiders, nothing but concern on his face as Mikalev was pulled after 3 and then puts in Stefan Beauregard, and Beauregard never even saw the puck.
Well, he made the save on the first shot from the point, and a good job by Townshend in front as we've had a good movement on the power play, and He made the save. The rebound came out, but there wasn't anyone there to take Hurd, and Hurd just dumps it in the open net. Good job, as the bench for the San Francisco Spiders looking a little glum right now. They're down 4-0 and not even halfway through this game yet.
Arrows are going to get a penalty. I don't know what the call is.
It looks like probably a bench finer, because Malgunas wasn't on the ice, and now he'll find himself in the box serving the penalty.
Too many men on the ice is the call. So Malgunas will serve the penalty, and a face-off won by Houston. Back at center ice, it is Kevin Grant shoots the puck into the San Francisco zone. Back to play it, Mario Doyon. Doyon in behind the net. He'll bring it up for Scott McCrory. McCrory sends one back. Doyon moves it up and out of the zone, poked away by Lamb. Doyon going back, far side. Spiders have it, and they're out at center ice. They'll shoot it into the arrow end. Sjerven, oh, took a weird hop, came up in front, and a great chance for McCrory, but an arrow got back to tip it away. Here's the drive, and Sjerven makes the save. That was nearly a power play goal.
That was an excellent defensive play by Steve Jaques to get back and help out.
Back now is John Purves, base of the right circle. Tipped one down, Jaques is there, and he will shovel it back down the ice.
You talk about knowing a rink and knowing the bounces, and sometimes goaltenders who haven't seen a rink before will get out a little early.
Here is McCrory that centers one. That's knocked away, and the Arrows have a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Lamb with O'Connor. Lamb dropped it back, and we've got a penalty coming up.
It's behind the play. I'm not sure what call's going to be. The Arrows did have the puck, but I'm not sure what that call could be. It was behind the play, and I think maybe Bawa and possibly Donnelly were getting into it behind the play. And the Arrow penalty box creaks open once again, and it looks, you don't have anybody coming over yet, but they do want somebody off the bench.
They have too many men again? I think they may have. On that, they made a line change on that rush, and maybe they had too many men on the ice.
Well, they're really calling that pretty tight as Kevin Grant goes to the box.
That's a second one. Both penalties are too many men on the ice. Grant will serve the other two. Malgunas has 1:02 left in his that he serves.
Well, if sometimes a player will change, and if that player that just came on the ice plays the puck while the other player is still not close enough to the bench, they'll call it, but a couple of pretty close calls there. I mean, you might see one of those calls and maybe a warning, but they've called them both, and the Arrows may have to kill off a 5-on-3 now.
Here's Robin Bawa at center to Mario Doyon. This is the Spiders' chance to get back in the hockey game, trailing 4-0. Puck in down low behind the Arrow cage, gobbled up by O'Connor, tried to turn one around and hit a skate, came out in front. McCrory's there. Tough break for the Arrows, good break for San Francisco. McCrory to John Purves, back to McCrory, playing the two-man game. Purves sends it down. McCrory looks in front, waiting, sends it back down. Purves wants to center. McCrory shoots, score! Scott McCrory, a power play goal, and it is now 4-1 Houston. And the Spiders will stay on the power play.
Well, that was just an unfortunate play. Miles O'Connor tried to dump it out from behind the net, and it hit, I'm not sure whether it hit his own player or maybe a forechecking San Francisco Spider, but the puck eventually ends up on the sideboards, and it's where they go to work. McCrory moving it around. He feeds it down. They kind of move it around a little bit more, and then McCrory gets it in the slot, and he just fires it short side on Grant Sjerven. And so McCrory, with that goal, helps out his team a little bit there. They stay on the power play, and they make it 4-1.
So
McCrory gets his 9th of the season with that goal.
Face off at center ice, and the Arrows have got it. Donnelly swings one at center. There is 1:22 left in the Kevin Grant penalty. Pass went through McCrory to go the length of the ice. Icing is indicated as Donnelly will go back, and they'll bring the face-off back into the San Francisco zone with 12:54 to play in the second, and it's 4-1 in favor of Houston. Face-off will be brought back in the Spider zone, and Alain Cote, who is a terrific defenseman, played many years in the NHL. Cote, who's at 6 foot 207 pounds. He's from Montgomery in the Prince Edward Island area.
So McCrory gets the goal, Purves the assist. And it's a power play goal. San Francisco stays on the power play with 1:14 left to do some more damage if they can.
Lamb and Hurd are out there with Donnelly and Valimont. McCrory comes out to take the face off against Lamb. Sticks down, false start. They'll square it up again. Linesman wanting him to square the shoulders up, drop of the puck, and the Spiders win the draw. Cote drifting back in behind his net. Alain Cote, right to left. He'll bring the pass up to the left side for Scott McCrory, who has the only Spider goal. It came on that power play. Puck sails in behind the net. Kelly Hurd along the left side. Now back as they fight for it. Here is John Purves. Purves, break point. Worked it down for McCrory with 53 on the power play. McCrory swings one down. It went into the corner. Donnelly, first one there, bangs it off the boards, and that'll go all the way down the ice. I'm watching Grant Sjerven. Every time the puck's dumped in that corner, I think he's staying put now.
You learn your lesson sometimes.
It is Cote in behind the net. Pass to the far side. One of the Spiders slipped and fell. It was Bilodeau that went down, but the pass came to center, and now John Purves hits the line looking for Bawa. Here's Purves, left side, Cote. Cote to the line for Bilodeau. He takes the puck, shoots, blocked by Hurlbutt. Freer poked it away. Worked into the corner. Bawa is there. Chipped down, though, as the Spiders trying to move it along the wall. Freer battling for it. The Aeros have got it. Hurlbutt to the center ice area of Arniel, and it's down the ice. Power play down to 8 seconds. And here is Brent Bilodeau. Christian Proulx, or make that great bullet now across the line. To the left side, Andrew Rymsha into the slot. Turns it back to the line. Here's the drive. Hammered just wide. Power play is over. Teams at 5 aside. Kevin Grant comes to center. 3-on-2. Here is Lamb. Looks for Hurd. Lamb trying to center it. It was pushed away by Proulx. Now Greg Bullock is there, and it's jammed down at center. And here come the Spiders. 3-on-2 the other way. Dropped it back. Here is Craigwell down low. In there fighting for it. It was back to the line. Proulx shoots right on. Sjerven the save. And it's rolled to the near side. Kevin Grant will fire it along the boards. Not out. Rochefort held it in. A drive went wide. After it, Carl Valimont. He's got it ahead, and the Aeros can turn and come to center. It is Lamb. Hits the line with Hurd. Here is Lamb. Left side shoots. Stuck aside. Now a chance. Hurd trying to move one in there, but it was Ian Boyce that was there for the San Francisco Spiders. Gives the puck ahead. It was Proulx who overskated the puck, got it ahead to Boyce, and it's into the Aero zone. Miles O'Connor sized up by Boyce, but turns the other way. O'Connor off the ball, and now Conroy came to center, but it passed too far for Freer. Loose puck picked up by Freer. He'll bring it across the line. Conroy right wing. Conroy back for Freer. Turns. He's got Arniel centered. Oh, great defensive play by the Spiders to knock that away. Jammed along the near boards. Held in. Jaques the drive. That went wide. Ricocheted behind the net. And Ron Langway is there. And here comes Ian Boyce to center. Pass to the right side. Purves hits the line. Picked up by Boyce. Centered, but Conroy was there. Conroy hooks a pass. It came out at center. Picked up by Freer. Looks in front. Freer sends one in. Conroy pursues. He's got Robin Bawa on him. They go into the corner, and it's Arniel. Scott Arniel sends one in for Freer. Couldn't find the handle, and it's rolled back in by Hurlbutt. Conroy to Arniel. He centered it, but back to play it away were the San Francisco Spiders, and McCrory will come to center. Scott McCrory hits the line, dumps one in. It will bounce to Sjerven, misplayed the puck, and this time he will cover up, and he will hold on. Timeout on the ice, 9:47 to go in the second. It's the Aeros 4, the Spiders 1. Don't go away. Saturday Night on Ice continues. Start on your Mardi Gras celebrating. You don't have to go all the way to New Orleans. Just come to the summit. Friday, February 2nd, the Rice Marching Owl Band will be on hand along with the 104 KRB Stick Brigade for your entertainment. Everyone entering the building will receive the ever-popular Mardi Gras beads. That's Friday, February 2nd at 7 p.m. Check your Houston Chronicle that day for game coupons. Still no report on Mike Yeo, and I certainly hope that he is all right, but he sure came off in a bit of pain.
Well, maybe that week will help the Aeros mend up a little bit. After this game, they don't play till Friday.
Alain Cote sends one back. Here's Maley, the shot whistled just wide of the net. Greg Bullock behind the cage. Bullock left side, back to the line. Here's the drive by Doyon. Too much loft on that 9-iron. It caroms to the near side. Cote slides one down. Here's a chance. Bullock centered, hits skates. Bilodeau couldn't get one away. Back along the far side. Bullock looks along, right wing. His pass too far for Maley. Sjerven comes out, and here comes Kelly Hurd. Jammed it off the glass. It'll go all the way back into the San Francisco zone. Doyon couldn't convert. It's taken back by Lamb. Lamb, left side for Townshend behind the net. Graeme Townshend reversed for Lamb. Centered. Kelly Hurd's got a chance. Here's Hurd trying to do some stick handling around. Bullock couldn't do it, and here come the Spiders at center. Bullock dumped the puck in, and the Spiders make a change. Back to get it. It is Miles O'Connor. He will romp to center ice. O'Connor hits the line. Good job stick handling and skating by O'Connor. Got it in deep, but the Spiders turn it around. Here they come. A pass. Left side. Boyce is in. Score! Ian Boyce. O'Connor got trapped too far after he carried the puck in. Nobody came back to cover for him. And it's a 4-2 hockey game.
Well, I was just about to say that the Spiders look like they're playing a little bit with a little more vigor, and after that first goal, they really started to play well deep in the Aeros zone, but eventually they get the puck after it went down to their end, and they just break out of their zone. Eventually the puck will come to Boyce as they make a good pass at the middle, and Sjerven came out and beat Purves earlier on in the game with a charge like that as he made the save, but right now, Boyce just waited and waited and waited and finally stuck it 5-hole, and it's a 4-2 hockey game.
Aeros turn it around. Here is Freer right side. And out of the net, Stefan Beauregard, who has been tested with just one shot. It was a goal from Kelly Hurd. And that was really all that the Aeros have put on him since he came in. Freer gives to Slivchenko, trying to move in. Knocked away. And Craigwell trying to clear. Held in Slivchenko, but that was poke checked away. Here come the Spiders. Pass for Boyce, right side. Ahead, Craigwell trying to move in. Jammed one into the corner. Rymsha goes hard to the boards with Grant. They battle for the puck. Rymsha's got it centered. The shot. Sjerven with a right pad save, and he will hold on, and there's another timeout on the ice. Here come the Spiders. 4-2 Houston back after this. The Aeros lead it by a score of 4-2. 8:04 to go in the second. Scott McCrory against Al Conroy.
Scott McCrory almost got a goal on that last shift as he got a good shot, but Sjerven made a good save.
It seems the Aeros are sitting back a little bit here and need to pick up the play a little bit more. They were off to the races at a 4-0 lead, but 2 unanswered goals by San Francisco have them right back in it. Pass at center ice. Here comes Conroy speeding left side. Hits the line with Lamb. Conroy looking in front. Dropped it for Grant. The shot stuck aside. It was blocked. McCrory in the corner. Tied up by Conroy. And Robin Bawa had it knocked away by Malgunas. Langway and Malgunas go hard into the boards. Malgunas trying to push one along. And then Langway dumps him into the corner. Malgunas getting back up. Trying to shove one around there. And here is Rob Langway. Sends one to the far side for Proulx. Jam the puck ahead to McCrory, and it's back out at center ice. Here comes Bawa. He got by Kevin Grant deep behind that, and Jaques takes him into the boards with a good hit. But Bawa still with the puck. Bawa behind the net again, tied up by Jaques. Into the corner. Bawa slides one in behind the net. John Purves back to play. Purves, right wing, or left wing rather, top of the slot, gets a pass in front, and the Spiders can't come away with a shot. Grant booms one off the boards. Purves held that point, but it was taken away, and the Aeros have a 2-on-1. Malgunas with Valimont. Malgunas right side center, knocked away. Valimont turned with a shot, and the Spiders come away with it. Right side, it's Mario Doyon. He'll go rink wide with it, and it's picked up by the San Francisco Spiders. It's shot back into the Aero end. Hurlbutt goes back to play. Hurlbutt fired it off the board. That will go the length of the ice. And Alain Cote will touch, and that is going to be an icing call on the Houston Aeros. 6:25 to go in the second, and a 4-0 Aero lead. And let's take a look at tonight's save comparisons. They're sponsored by Pizza Hut, where Pizza Hut delivers. Grant Sjerven, the bulk of the work in this hockey game. 19 saves to just 9 for the Spiders. As Houston Aeros lead this thing 4-2. Face off to the left side of Grant Sjerven. Did Sjerven come out too far on the Boyce goal?
Well, I think he thought that the Boyce was going to shoot it, and in doing so, Boyce did a good job of faking a couple shots and then sliding it 5-hole. If he had basically Sjerven had to wait and wait and wait, and by that time he could have gone all the way around him. So you got to be careful when you come charging out like that.
Puck is taken by Houston. Kelly Hurd sends it back behind the net, and Stefan Beauregard is there. We haven't called his name much in this period after he came in for the netminder that started Corrado Mikolaev. Here is Kelly Hurd left side, sends it behind the net. Beauregard knocked it down, flipped it off the glass. It takes a weird hop and caroms out to center ice for the San Francisco Spiders. It is Maley, shoveled it into the Aero zone. Bilodeau chopped one right through the goal crease, but it's picked up by Townshend, and he'll move up ice. Cross ice pass for Kelly Hurd. He'll hit the line with Lamb. Hurd trying to shake off a check, came out and then was knocked off the puck, and Bilodeau will take over. Bilodeau watched by Hurd. Sends one to the near side for Cote. Run into by Donnelly. And Cote takes a hit from Freer. Freer knocked him off the puck. And now Arniel left side. Arniel trying to jam it down for Freer behind the net. Battle for the puck. Squirts out in front. And the Spiders have got it. Dave Maley near side. Moves it up and out. But it's taken away by Slivchenko. Can he get there? He's got to hurry. But Proulx knocked it away. Proulx to the far side for Rochefort. Rochefort spins the pass to Brent Bilodeau. Bilodeau at center. Dumped the puck in. But Miles O'Connor couldn't find a handle and has to go back behind the net. O'Connor swings one right side. Donnelly out to center ice for Slivchenko. He'll shoot one in. And the Spiders have it. Craigwell in behind the net. Dropped one for Proulx. Jammed the puck ahead, and it's knocked to the line and out at center ice by Rymsha. Puck goes back into the Spiders' home. Beauregard, where was he going? He was going back behind that, and again, puck takes a weird hop. These boards are far from true. They're so far from true, they're false. Puck comes to Ian Boyce, trying to center one in there, and it's knocked away, and Conroy moves it ahead, but they say it was hit with a high stick, and the face-off back into the Aeros zone. Timeout on the ice, 4:34 to go in the second. Aeros 4, Spiders 2. We are right back after this. Saturday night on ice continues February 10th at 7:30. The Aeros and the Chicago Wolves from the Rosemont Horizon. You can catch all the action on UPN 20. Your home for Houston Aeros hockey, as well as Super Talk Radio 950 KPRC. Spiders have the puck. Goes into the Aeros zone, and we're going to get a really ill-advised penalty from Gord Kruppke. He got tied up with Rymsha. It's going to be a hooking call, and Kruppke's going to go to the box. And the Spiders, who have all the momentum right now, are going to go on the power play.
Well, that one looked a little better than I thought it should have. Kruppke can't believe it. I think they both got tied up with each other, and Rymsha wins the acting job. Forechecking a bit, and Kruppke gets the stick in there. But you know, a professional hockey player just doesn't fall down like that, and he didn't really make too much effort to stay on his feet after Kruppke got the stick in there on him. But nevertheless, Kruppke will sit. And the Aeros will have to kill another one off, and this is a big one. 2-goal lead, a goal right now near the end of the second period could turn this game right around.
Face off to the left side of Sjerven, and the Aeros have it. Here is Gord Donnelly. He'll fire one off the glass and shoot it down the ice. Out of the net, Stefan Beauregard. He's pursued by Alain, sends it back behind the net, and the Spiders will turn back in their own zone. Here is McCrory at center ice with Bawa. Hits the line. Bawa left side, looks back in front. Bawa starts the power play. Left wing boards to McCrory. McCrory getting set along the left side, slices it down for Purves. Back in front, McCrory sends one. Here's the shot. Score! It's a 4-1 hockey game. I think Proulx got the goal.
Well, I said it, Adam. That's a big call and a big goal. The Aeros lead by 1 with 3:50 remaining in this second period. They've scored 4 goals to lead this game, but San Francisco has shown before, as recent as their last game, that they can come back from a lead, and they're doing it right now against the Aeros. The Aeros lead it 4-3 now, but a good job by Purves getting it to McCrory, and he just feeds it back to the point, and just a shot that beats Sjerven. Sjerven didn't really come out and challenge on this one as much as he just waited, but didn't see that. But what a great shot it was as it goes off the post and beats Sjerven on the shorthand side. A great goal, and the Aeros lead it by 1.
San Francisco with a puck, the Aeros with a puck in the San Francisco zone. Here is Slivchenko turning with a backhand. Cote trying to get it away in the corner. Doyan's got Arniel locked up, or Freer locked up along the boards. It's jammed away, and Purves back to the right side. Third to the line, not out. Came down in front, and the Spiders clear. At center, McCrory across the line. Aeros had a 4-0 lead. They have the slimmest of 1-goal margin, and now the Aeros with a chance. 2-on-1. Freer with Slivchenko. Freer in. Wait, shoots, and a save made by Beauregard. Now the puck turned away. Slivchenko in the corner. He's belted off the puck, and Cote is there. Here come the Spiders, and it's brought across the line. Bawa ran into Jaques, and O'Connor will skate away. Pass too wide for Jaques. Spiders coming after the Aeros right now. Groulx is fourth from McCrory and Purves. 4-3 Houston. Dave Maley shoots one in. After it, Frank Bullock behind the net. Here is a chance for Houston. Al Conroy right side. He fouled. Couldn't clear the zone. Rochefort got it back in. For Bilodeau. Behind the net, it was centered, but picked up by Hurd. Kelly Hurd moves one up the wall. Jammed to the line. Rochefort held it in. Aeros can't get it out, but they're going to say actually it did come out that time.
It was a hand pass, I believe, by Rochefort, trying to get it back into the zone, and obviously a hand pass in the offensive zone requires a whistle, as they do. The puck will come outside the blue line, but with this period coming down to an end, 2:21 remaining, the Aeros would love to get one. I'm sure Dave Tippett would like at the very, very least to just hold it to this, to go into that third period with a lead. They have given up 3 straight, as maybe, and just maybe, taking San Francisco for granted a little bit after having a 4-0 blot.
Face-off won by San Francisco. Rochefort dumped the puck in. Miles O'Connor is there, gives to Lamb. He'll fire it off the boards. Aeros can't clear. Jam back down. O'Connor again the left side. Give it to Lamb, and he'll shoot it to the line. Held in again. A great defensive play, but then Christian Crew had to shoot back into the Aero zone. Here's Miles O'Connor. Scoops one ahead. As O'Connor was drilled by Andrew Rymsha, and then Donnelly gives Rymsha a high stick right in the face. And that might be the end of Gord Donnelly. That might be. Right in front of the referee. Donnelly, I think, is due 4, if not more. We'll see here. He's going to call 2. Donnelly, I think, got away with one. Donnelly wanted to retaliate for the hit on O'Connor, and he let Rymsha have it.
O'Connor was just ran into the corner, and Donnelly saw the whole thing and decided to take it into his own hands, and he gets his stick up on Rymsha, and Rymsha goes down in a heap, and Donnelly, I don't know how he can argue that one, but I think what he wanted was maybe a call on Rymsha himself for maybe boarding on O'Connor, but yeah. Nevertheless, it'll be another power play opportunity for the San Francisco Spiders. And we said, hey, you know, earlier on in the game, maybe you can take the extra penalty here and there, but when the game's this close, I don't think you should. And right now, the Aeros only lead it by 1 goal, and they've given up the last 3.
Face-off is at center ice. Aeros win the draw. It is Kruppke who steers it into the San Francisco zone, and Beauregard slows behind the net. 1:46 to go in the second, so there will be some time on the power play if the Spiders don't score. Here's McCrory, shoots one in. Over to the far corner, John Purves, but it's played away by Arniel and shot the length of the ice. Back out of the net, it's Beauregard. He'll drop it back, and Spiders will turn it around. Francois Groulx in behind the net. Plays peekaboo with Freer. Pass came to the left side for McCrory. He'll jam one into the Houston Aero zone. Takes a weird hop. That's why Sjerven staying put. Here's a centering pass. And that was right on to Sjerven. He had to make the save. John Purves near side. Along the boards, Freer trying to knock that away, and Kruppke can't clear. Kruppke has it in his skates. Jammed away by Bawa. Sjerven comes out. Sjerven stick handling a little bit, and Arniel will bank it ahead, and it's all the way back into the San Francisco zone. Aeros will make changes on the fly as we're down to the final minute of the second period. 4-3 Houston rather. Here's a turnover in front. Lamb short-handed, trying to pull the trigger, cannot. Bullock cleared, not out. Here's Hurd, drills the shot, and it was deflected away. Bullock in his own zone with 40 remaining in the period. Bullock turning in his own zone. Bullock. Center ice, Rue just missed Purves. Sjerven out of the net to play it away. Along the far boards. Aeros trying to get there. Kruppke jammed it away, but Bullock had it. Wrestling Bullock along the far side. Bullock center to Cote, back to the line. Down to 20 seconds in the period. Here's a give and go. Down low, centered. Oh, that hit Sjerven and went wide. Loose puck behind the net. Spiders have it. Purves to the line. Groulx back to Purves. Winds it, shoots it. Blocked by Hurd. Purves right side, turned it over. Hurd will shoot it, and that's the period. That'll go down the ice, and the Spiders will have 7 seconds to go on the power play as Craigwell the shot, and a glove save made by Sjerven. And there will be actually 6 seconds left in a minor to Gord Donnelly. But the Aeros have found themselves hanging over a big chasm with a rope, and that rope greased with lard right now. They're trying to hold on. They lead it 4-3, and we'll have more from the Cow Palace when we return. This is Saturday Night on Ice. 4-3 4-3, the Aeros leading the San Francisco Spiders in the second intermission. I'm Adam Gordon, and once again our UPN camera spending lots of time down at the Aerodrome. A while back we had hooked up a wireless mic to Mike Greenlay and took a look at things, but we have the second half of that feature. Let's take a look at what it's like life on the ice with a wireless mic. Mike Greenlay.
With a three-line pass, that's a breakaway. Dobson in all alone, he moves, he shoots, he scores! Rob Dobson, his first goal of the season. Do I look like a pretzel? I feel like one on that one. Oh, I got a piece of it, Jaques. I got a piece of it. No, it just bounced the wrong way. Got a piece of that one. That's frustrating. I'd rather get beat cleanly. Out of the zone, he's got Dobson again. But he holds on to it and he feeds Mark Freer with 2 goals last night. Mark Freer back door to Dobson, shoots, he scores! Rob Dobson on the back door. We got 2-on-1 here for me. Oh, I read that one all the way. Read that one all the way. Steve Jaques has got a 2-on-1. Oh, he scores. He shoots. He scores. Breakaway goal. You know, I just realized something. I can't talk and play goal at the same time. We'll all stand here.
Okay, get out of here, Scott.
Scott, you're not a goalie. You're not a union member. Please leave.
No, not till you buy a mask.
Not till you actually stand in front of a shot. Pick it up.
Are you with the goalie union this morning?
Oh, what a save. What's that?
You with the goalie union this morning?
I guess it's a union you never can. Once you're in, you're in. You can't escape. You got to stick together. We're our only friends. What a save! Oh my God! What a save! Oh, what a good way to finish off the day. See that save, Dauber? Oh, just all I did was copy you, and I made a hell of a save.
You know what, Greener? I just realized you can't walk and chew gum at the same time either.
That was a lot of fun. The guys didn't even know I had the microphone on, so they just were acting the way they were acting, and I was trying to spur them on.
You know, obviously you could tell the piece we did it a while ago because it was Scott McCrory that you guys were talking to. The 2 goals that Dobson scored were on Scott McCrory, and you know, the funny thing is people don't realize this. Rob Dobson can skate. I mean, this guy is a top skater.
He's a good skater. We told the people once before that he actually was he actually played like 2 or 3 games in the IHL as a left wing when he played for Muskegon. They were in really bad injury trouble, and so he got to sit on the bench. He never played a shift, but he still got the dress and his player's equipment, so now he thinks he's a scorer.
Yeah, and of course, you know what happens after that. You become broadcasters, right? All right, it's 4-2 or 4-3 in favor of the Houston Aeros, and we'll have more from the Cal Palace right after this. Aeros lead it by a score of 4-3 as we're back in the Cal Palace. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. And what is going on with our Houston Aeros in that second period? They had built a 4-0 lead and it's slipping away.
Well, you notice one thing, in 2 of the goals out of the 3 that were scored by the San Francisco Spiders were on the power play. We said they could get away with a little bit, but if you give a team too many, they're going to take advantage, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, we'll show you how the Aeros built their lead. They led 2-0 after 1, and then in the second period, Vadim Slivchenko scored, and he got his 18th of the year at 2:18, or make that 2:19 rather. Mark Freer got the only assist, and the Aeros led it 3-0. Then they made it 4-0. Kelly Hurd, his 10th of the year from Lamb and Conroy at 4:43. It was a power play goal. Aeros were cruising at 4-3, but that cruising was put maybe in cruise control a little too early as Scott McCrory got a goal at 6:51 from John Purves. It was a power play goal, 4-1 in favor of Houston, made 4-2 as Ian Boyce got his 12th at 11:15. Craigwell got the only assist on that one, and then finally Francois Grollo again on the power play at 16:10 from McCrory and Purves, and it is 4-3 in favor of the Houston Aeros. Well, a very big hot topic is health for women, and that is our topic tonight as we take time out. A 4-3 hockey game. The Aeros leading the San Francisco Spiders. The Aeros had a 3-0 lead, and as we go right to the highlight screener, Kelly Hurd took advantage of a loose puck and made it 4-0.
And it's on the power play. A good job by Conroy giving it to Lamb, and Lamb just shoots it on net. A good play. The rebound will come out. Beauregard doesn't know where it is. Hurd turns around, certainly does, and he fires it in the open side, and that gave the Aeros a 4-0 lead.
The Aeros, as you say, up by 4, but then 3 unanswered goals, including this one on the power play.
Yes, this one does come on the power play, and it's Grollo, but Purves feeds to McCrory. McCrory just dumps it right back out to the slot, and this is a great shot by Grollo. It goes off the post and into the net, and that brought the San Francisco Spiders within 1, and that's the way it stands right now.
Let's take a look at those second period stats. They're brought to you by Whataburger. Hey, what you waiting for? San Francisco, 12-5 in the shot department. Now, these are stats in the second period alone. So the Aeros, who had a couple of goals on just 5 shots, I'm sure Dave Tippett not happy about that. Scoring chances, yeah, San Francisco definitely had more in that period, 7-5. The Aeros in the face-off department up 12-10. Look at San Francisco power play, number 2 of 3 on the power play. The Aeros were 1 of 1 on the man advantage in the second period. Greener, one note to pass along real quickly to everybody. At the end of that period, Gord Donnelly went up to the referee, Brad Davis, gave him an earful, and picked up a 10-minute misconduct. So Donnelly has about 6 seconds remaining on his penalty, and then he's lost for another 10 minutes. That hurts.
It will hurt the Aeros, and they'll have to work a little bit harder.
All right. It is 4-3 Houston. Third period when we return. We'll be right back. Shortly commencing the third period, and the Aeros lead it by a score of 4-3. We already mentioned Gord Donnelly picked up a 10-minute misconduct, so he will be in the penalty box for another 10 minutes. He has, I think, about 6 seconds remaining in a penalty that he got at the end. As Stefan Beauregard getting his goal crease ready. It's a great look at it. Why don't you explain to some of the fans why goaltenders do that?
Well, they call it chalking up the crease, and if you look at the ice in front of that where he's scratching it up there, it's pretty wet and pretty slippery. If you ever stepped on wet ice, you'll know that it's slipperier than ice that's been messed up, I guess, a little bit. And goaltenders do that, so when they slide across to make a save, they don't just slide on right out the door and down the street.
Yeah, to give you guys brooms, you keep your crease so neat. I wish you kept your house that nice.
Yeah, really.
All right. Okay, Grant Sjerven doesn't do that much. Just kind of scuffs it up a little bit.
Well, it's all part of a personal preference, I guess. Some goalies like to really mess it up a lot, really get it all chalked up, and other goalies just give it a couple swipes, get some of the water off, and away they go.
What did you do? How much did you do?
I did it pretty good. I didn't like a lot of time you found Zamboni has to travel over that part of the ice quite a few times, and in doing so, it leaves quite a bit of water. The water isn't able to dry that much, and I like to get all that water off of there and also chalk it up because, hell, when I got sliding across the crease, there's enough momentum to make it go right through the boards.
That big 6'4", 200-pound frame.
I wish it was that.
Here comes Ferschweiler right back on the power play. He centered one. O'Connor worked it away. The power play is now over. There was only 6 seconds remaining to Donnelly, and the teams are at 5 aside. Puck is in the Aero zone. Here's Miles O'Connor. A pass to the near side. Townshend shoots it out at center. Back are the Spiders. It's worked into Houston Aero territory. Sjerven tried to knock it down. Into the corner, Maley fights for it, picked up by Hurd, and he will shovel that back out at center and into the San Francisco zone. Spiders back to play. It is Rochefort in behind the net. Quick pass goes all the way back into the Aero zone where Hurlbutt will gather it in. Here comes Hurlbutt. Aeros lead it 4-3. Hurlbutt got through the check of Purves, shot it into the San Francisco zone. Beauregard knocked it down to Francois Grollo. In behind the net, it's Christian Proulx. Proulx to the near side. He'll move it up the boards and out at center, but back to play it. It's Gord Kruppke. Kruppke to Arniel. He'll shoot it through Conroy and into the San Francisco zone. Aeros could really use a goal here to slow the San Francisco momentum. And here's a chance. Kruppke in behind the net. Centered. It hit skates. Arniel turns. He jammed it back to the line. No one was home. And it went back into the Aero end. It is Mike Hurlbutt back to play it. Off the boards to Arniel. He tried to clear, couldn't gather in the puck. Arniel then shoveled it right in front of his own net. I don't think he meant to go that way. And Sjerven had to cover up and hold on with 18:36 to go in the third. Aeros lead it by a goal at 4-3.
With no traffic around, it's an okay play as it turned out okay. Dave Tippett, I would really like to know what he had to say in between periods. We all know Dave Tippett as being a mild-mannered. He's not the kind of guy that's going to be yelling at his players, but he still has to be real firm with them. And I'm sure that he was during that second intermission there. The Aeros up 4-0 and then gave up 3 unanswered goals, and now have to battle to win this game when, as before, they could have made it a lot easier on themselves.
Face off to the left side of Grant Sjerven, and O'Connor's got it. It came to the near side for Kelly Hurd, and it's rolled back into the San Francisco zone. Out of the net, Beauregard swings it along the boards, and Andrew Rymsha cleared. It's to the line, not out. Hurd spanked it back down, but Ron Langway takes over. Here come the Spiders. Pass off the left side. Craigwell barreling in on goal. Centered. Hooked just wide by Ian Boyce. Ian Boyce is having a terrific little hockey game here. Kelly Hurd motors one out. It'll go all the way back into the San Francisco zone. Rollo turned it over. Here's Hurd shooting, and it was blocked. Maybe needed to get rid of it a split second earlier. Ian Boyce takes over. Boyce to the right side. I think Hurd was a little surprised he found the puck all alone in there. Puck is in the arrow, and Sjerven lets O'Connor take over. Miles O'Connor scoops one the length of the ice. It was batted down by a Spider, so the Aeros couldn't go in and attack. No icing. Here come the Spiders. A pass to the right side. Cote to center. Give it to Maley. He shoots it into the Aero zone. Back to play it. It's Kevin Grant. Grant checked by Bullock. Conroy fires one to the far side. Maley is there. He centered one. No one home. Carl Valimont trying to chip it away as he's playing left wing on this shift. Grant trying to jam one behind the cage. Maley's got it. Reversed it to Greg Bullock. Bullock in behind that. Sjerven comes out. He will wait and play it. Sjerven swings one over to Kevin Grant, and his pass bats out to center ice. Into the San Francisco zone it goes. Alain Cote with 3 minutes gone by in this third period. Aeros up by a goal. O'Connor had it go up over the glass. It's out of play, and we'll take timeout. 16:55 to go in the third. It's the Aeros 4, the Spiders 3. Don't be nervous about Purves. We're back after this. Face off at center. Freer against Scott McCrory, and the Spiders have it. Mario Doyon hooked it into the Aero zone. Sjerven slows. Now the Aeros take over. Miles O'Connor in behind the net as the Spiders set up in their trap. No pun intended as the puck goes out of play. I guess you could say the trapdoor spider always gets its prey.
Let's just hope it's not a Black Widow.
Or the Aeros face off back out at center ice. Jean Perron has to be very pleased the way his team has battled back. You talked about the Aeros needing to play with a little more concern to the Spiders, even though they had a 4-0 lead. They were down 6-3 to Atlanta and came back to win that hockey game. Compliments of Scott McCrory's 1 goal and 5 assist performance.
And he hasn't been too much of a slouch tonight. He has a goal and actually almost 2 or 3. He's had some good chances.
Here's a puck at center. Arniel couldn't advance it, and John Purves has a 2-on-1, but we've got a penalty coming up. Interference to McCrory. He was interfering with Miles O'Connor, and Brad Davis will make the call as the Aeros now will go on the power play. They had just the 1 power play in the second period, but a chance here to perhaps open up a 2-goal lead, one that they would need. Thank you very much.
Brad Davis has been calling a lot of things behind the play, which is compliments to him, because a lot of times players get away with things back there, but doing a good job of calling it on both sides. McCrory holding up Miles O'Connor a little bit on the play as Ian Boyce comes out to kill the penalty. And so McCrory will go to the box. The Aeros will come on the power play and have a chance to make it a 2-goal lead. In 1-goal games, the Aeros actually have stats on their sides. They're 9-8-4. But I'm sure they would rather have that be a 2-goal game and not have to worry as much.
I'd rather see him have that 4-goal lead back.
Yeah, let's turn back time.
Here is Mark Lamb in his own zone. Lamb turning in behind the net, and here come the Aeros on the power play. Lamb, a pass to the left side. Hurd, he'll bring it across the line, and we've got a whistle and a penalty on Graeme Townshend, I believe. And that will do it for the Aero power play. And it has been penalties that have shot the Aeros in the foot in this hockey game.
You talk about things behind the play, and right away on the play, Graeme Townshend gets tied up a little bit with a San Francisco Spider. I think it was Purves, and so Purves draws a penalty by skating as hard as he can down the right wing, and I think Townshend was holding him up a little bit for the dump-in. The dump-in had gone around the boards, and Purves would most likely have been one of the first players to it, and Townshend holds him up, and now he's in the box. So much for the power play the Aeros had and a chance of making it a 2-goal lead. Now they have to play 4-on-4 for 1:48, and then they'll be short for 12 seconds, and then they'll be even once again.
Faceoff is at center, and the Aeros have got it. It is Mike Hurlbutt back in his own end. Hurlbutt jammed one to the far side for Gord Kruppke. Kruppke to Hurlbutt back behind the net. The Aeros will go 4-on-4 for 1.5 minutes, and then they've got about 12 seconds of a power play to kill off. Here's Kruppke, had it stuck aside, and the Spiders shoot it ahead. Purves moving right wing. Purves right in. Shoot short side. Missed the net badly, though. Now back Francois Proulx. Jammed one down in front. Purves turns. Purves in the slot. Stick handling in front, but Kelly Hurd got back to take it away. Hurd gently rolled the puck ahead to Kruppke. Slides one too far for Lamb, and Doyon's got to go back into his own zone. Mario Doyon slides the pass to Ian Boyce. Across the line, he was belted by Jaques, and the Aeros take over as Boyce and Jaques continue to grapple a little bit. Now it is Conroy across the line. Pulls up, looks for the pass. Conroy drifting back, jammed one down, and it's taken back by Alain Cote. Cote to Craigwell, across the line, dropped it back, the drive, wide of the net, bounce back, stuck aside by Sjerven. It came out in front. Sjerven lets Jaques take it. Jaques off the boards, cannot clear. Spiders have it. Pass, Cote, right in a goal, and the save is made by Grant Sjerven. He will hold on. 5 minutes gone by in the third period. It is Aeros 4, Spiders 3 in 35 seconds. San Francisco will get 12 on the power play.
Alain Cote gets a good chance as Jaques on the other side really didn't have much help. He just got the puck deep in his own corner and tried to move it up the board, and the puck was intercepted at the point, passed across, and Cote gets a good shot, but Sjerven closes the 5-hole and squeezes that one for a face-off.
And it'll be to the left side of Grant Sjerven. Craigwell against Al Conroy. Drop of the puck. Here is Jaques. He'll move it up the boards, and it's out at center ice. Rink wide pass picked up by Rymsha. Rymsha right in. Shot stopped by Sjerven. And Conroy takes over behind the net. Out Conroy. He'll come out with it. Conroy skates to center. Conroy hits the line. Looks for the pass. Dumped it back behind, but it was knocked away, and Rymsha will bring it ahead. Rymsha to Craigwell. Hits the line. Craigwell trying to get it back. Rymsha pulls out, shoots. Stopped by Sjerven. Rebound in front, and the Spiders fighting for it. It was Bilodeau that tried to advance it, and then Bilodeau dumped O'Connor, and play moves on. Cote to McCrory, right side across the line. McCrory wraps one to the right side. Rymsha dropped it back. Cote right in, but a great save made by Sjerven. That with a blocker save, and the Aeros clear not out. Now the Spiders back at even strength with the Aeros as Townshend's back out on the ice. Puck is in the San Francisco zone. McCrory worked it ahead, but Jaques pounds it down, and that will not be icing as it's chipped ahead to center ice. John Purves hits the line with McCrory. It was knocked away. McCrory didn't see it. The Aeros have it. Here comes Kelly Hurd, winding, shooting. Save made by Beauregard. He'll hold on, and with 13:53 to go in the third, Stefan Beauregard makes a nice save on Kelly Hurd.
There's Mike Hurlbutt. Mike Hurlbutt on that play, but right before that, Mike Hurlbutt makes the defensive play by poke checking it. McCrory can't find it in his skates, and off to the races goes Hurd, looking for his second of the game, and he blasts one, but Beauregard handles it quite easily as he picks that one out of the air. Has a lot of room to see it and a lot of time to catch it, as he does. Noticing, if you notice one thing about both these goalies for San Francisco, they're both southpaws. That means they both catch with their right hand, making it a little different of a strategy for players when they shoot. Someone might want to go to that left-hand side, which they don't normally do.
Face-off, controls by the Spiders, and it's jammed back to the line. And it's worked out at center ice. John Purves trying to move it ahead. Here is McCrory. And it's out at center. Christian Proulx dumped one into the Aeros zone. Kruppke goes into the corner with McCrory. Jammed away for Hurlbutt. Gives to Kelly Hurd. Can't clear. Oh, he did clear it. It's out at center. Christian Proulx couldn't hold it in, but it was ripped back by Rochefort. Here's Mike Hurlbutt for Houston. A pass. Worked ahead for Hurd. Trying to slice the puck ahead, but Robin Bawa is there. Bawa at center, tripped up by Townsend as he lost an edge, and Hurd will advance it, but the Spiders take it right back. Proulx across the line. Proulx dumped one in, and Jaques is there with 13 minutes to go, and then he crashed and burned in the corners. He lost the puck. Purves trying to get it down from McCrory. Spanked it for Bawa. Jaques fighting for it. Townshend wants to go in with Langway, but Langway beat him to the puck. In behind the net for McCrory. Scott McCrory, but it's knocked away by Hurd, but to the line. Proulx held it in, and his drive went way wide of the net. But Langway holds it, and he's got Purves in front, tried to center. Jaques knocked it away. It went to Conroy, and he'll fire that the length of the ice. No icing, though, as the Aeros making changes. Here is Proulx knocked away on the forecheck of Malgunas, and Beauregard will cover up, and he'll hold on, and we'll take timeout. 12:29 to go in the third. Aeros 4, the Spiders 3. Back after this. To the Aeros. Atlanta and Kansas City tied at 4 with 9 minutes to go in the third. Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne won it in a shootout tonight, 4-3. So Aeros need this hockey game. They need this hockey game. They had a 4-0 lead. Spiders roared back with 3 goals with 12:24 remaining. Things have settled down, but right now the Aeros need to just kind of dig down deep and find themselves a little insurance goal.
Let's remember they still lead by 1, but anything can happen in a 1-goal game, as we have seen plenty of times this year.
Freer with Arniel and Slivchenko. Kruppke and O'Connor at the line. As Donnelly has about 2.5 minutes remaining in his 10-minute misconduct. It is Slivchenko, lost an edge, crashed and burned in the corner, and it's Alain Cote. The pass, ahead, Bullock, ripped it into the Aero zone, back to play at Arniel, cranked it to the line, not out, and there's an icing call. He's looking at the line, he never had his hand up, waited a good portion there before he put it up, and then finally we get the icing call, and the face-off will come back into the San Francisco zone. Well, we're back on Prime on Sunday, February 4th. Note the 4 o'clock start. The Aeros hosting the Fort Wayne Comets. You can catch the game on Prime Sports, or of course on the home for Houston Aeros Hockey, 950 KPRC.
Slivchenko having a pretty good game tonight, getting involved and getting a goal on a good play where he got knocked to the ice, got right back up and got into the play, and Mark Freer was able to feed him.
Freer, Arniel, and Slivy again. Puck controlled by the Spiders. Doyon worked it to Maley, checked by Arniel, and it went into the Aero end. Back to get it, Kruppke again. This is another icing call, and they'll bring the face-off back in the Spider zone. And at this point, the Aeros will take face-offs in their opponent's end all night long, as Officer Kruppke would agree. He has really, you look at his return, Gord Kruppke's return, and how he's really settled things down. Throw in Mike Hurlbutt the way he has played, and that's been the shot in the arm I think the Aeros have needed on the blue line this year. It's helped pick up the play of Donnelly and Miles O'Connor.
And there's a veteran defenseman, Rod Langway.
I thought he was a rookie this year.
Maybe he would like to be a rookie again, but that's a few years away.
Face off to the right side of Stefan Beauregard. Aeros win the draw. Back to the line. O'Connor trying to spank it ahead. He's got it. Hooked it down into the corner for Freer. Freer trying to advance it, but Maley gathers in the puck. Scoots to the line. It's out at center ice. Aeros take over. Kruppke jammed it back into the San Francisco zone. Spiders turning, and it's Alain Cote. Reverse the puck to Doyon. Doyon in behind the net. Here come the Spiders. John Purves into the Aero zone. Back is Arniel. Arniel cleared out at center for Slivchenko, and here come the Aeros, 2-on-1. Slivchenko with Freer, shoots, scores! Slivchenko! And it's a 5-3 Aero lead, his second goal of the night, Vadim Slivchenko.
Well, it takes a heck of a move to beat the San Francisco Spider defense. He walks around him and creates that 2-on-1 with a great move. And he breaks down into the zone and gets a good shot on goal. He could have given it to Freer, but he elects not to. He pulls it around, and right off the ice shoots it as Freer breaks to the net, and Beauregard lets it go in 5-hole. And Slivchenko has his second goal of the game, his 19th on the season.
On the Aeros, up by a pair. It is Mike Hurlbutt in his own zone. He'll meander the pass off the boards, went back into the San Francisco zone. Christian Proulx to play, and that is icing on Houston.
So that 2-goal cushion, Adam, is just what the Aeros wanted after giving up what looked like a 4-goal cushion.
While we have a second here, Greener, I think you look at the Aeros situation, you talk about the week off, and they need it with Mike Maurice obviously in sick bay with his groin pull, or I shouldn't say groin pull, actually the chip bone in his hip. Then you've got Mark Laniel with his shoulder. Don't know the story on him. Do not know the story on Yo with his shoulder. And Sylvain Turgeon with his hamstring.
Yeah, so after being totally healthy for a few games, the Aeros have seen some more injuries.
It was nice for a while. The Aeros right around the 100-man game mark for games missed. In fact, it's over it now. Block is Ian Boyce trying to move one in there. Jammed for Boyce again. Base of the right circle. Boyce was crushed into the boards by Kevin Grant. Well, working along. Here's a chance for the Spiders. Proulx, the drive, knocked away. And Kelly Hurd will jam it away. Here comes Lamb with a man to beat. Lamb makes the move, trying to get around Proulx. Couldn't do it. Beauregard came out, knocked away. Lamb trying to move it to the corner. Kelly Hurd dug it out, chipped it down for Lamb, but it couldn't get there, and Rochefort will jump on it. The only assist goes to Arniel, by the way, on the Slivchenko goal. Here comes Dale Craigwell across the line, but back to play it. It's Miles O'Connor. He'll swing it over to Graeme Townshend. 10:16 to go in the third. Aeros lead at 5-3, and the Aeros offsides. They'll bring the face-off back to center ice. Graeme Townshend has a goal in this hockey game. In fact, he's got goals in, what, 4 of his last 5?
Townshend certainly has been a factor lately, as has Arniel. You mentioned Arniel got the assist on that goal. And a lot of times you don't see the work that the guy that gets the assist, you don't see the work that he does to feed it to the guy who gets the goal. Arniel picked it up in his own zone there and did a good job of moving it up the boards. And then afterwards, Slivchenko makes a great move to beat Mario Doyon at the red line. He breaks it in on a 2-on-1 and takes it himself and scores as Miles O'Connor dumps this into the San Francisco zone.
Townshend in 2 of his 4. I thought for a minute there he scored in Utah, and that's right, he didn't. So 2 of his last 4 games. 3 of 5, including this one. Here comes Slivchenko across the line. Made one too many moves and he lost the puck, and the Spiders take over McCrory. He'll send the puck back. Here comes Francois Grouillot into the Aeros zone. Sjerven comes out to slow, and Miles O'Connor is there. Pass up the middle to the line, not out. Cote trying to move one ahead. That one off Freer. And now John Purves at center ice. Purves across the line. Dumped one in. Robin Bawa was there, but O'Connor takes it away. It's cleared up the boards, but the Aeros couldn't get it out. And a shot right on. Sjerven makes the save. Freer in the corner, bumped by Purves. McCrory trying to dig it out. He's locked up by O'Connor. Now Bawa skating left circle, cuts in, looks for the pass. He's watched by Jaques. McCrory tried to center one, and Freer knocked it away. 9 minutes to go, and the Aeros up 5-3. Here's Alain Cote, and that is offsides. Play whistle down, and we take a timeout. The Aeros 5, the Spiders 3, and we'll be right back after this. Houston, and the Aeros go back into their own zone to gather in a pocket. It's Carl Valimont pursued by Bullock. Valimont heading up the right wing board, shot at the length of the ice, and Beauregard will be forced to play it to wave off the icing. Christian Proulx, he'll fire one off the boards, and it's up and out at center ice. Malgunas fighting for it. Proulx jammed it into the arrow end. Kruppke to play it far side. Kruppke behind the net for Mike Hurlbutt, but we've got a whistle, and they'll bring a face-off out at center. What was it, a hand pass?
No, Gord Kruppke got his stick up a little bit on that play.
Oh, okay.
Played it with a high stick, and Davis rolls it down. As you see Mike Hurlbutt there. Mike Hurlbutt wanted to say hi to his son, Jacob Hurlbutt, who's 3 years old today. Adam and I want to say happy birthday to you as well.
You know, while I got a second, our statistician at home, Neil Wilkins, and I forgot to do this Wednesday. I realize this is late, but his daughter Penny had a birthday. I think it was Wednesday. I think it's her 11th or 12th birthday. I'm sorry I'm late with this, and I'll know I never hear the end of it, but Penny Wilkins, happy birthday to you.
Yes, happy birthday.
All right. I hope I'm back in her good graces. She doesn't talk to me much anymore. Here's Christian Proulx. Shot right on, and it was stopped by Grant Sjerven. Now along the boards, David Maley trying to move it ahead. It went back out at center, and Kelly Hurd shoots it into the San Francisco zone. That's skipped by Beauregard. Lamb's got a chance right side. Hooked it down behind the net, and Beauregard will slow. 8:12 to go. Aeros lead at 5-3. Greg Bullock harassed by Graeme Townshend. Bullock came back out to the near side from Maley. Rolled the puck ahead. That's knocked away. Back is Proulx. Now picked up by Lamb. He centered one. Townshend couldn't get the shot away. Hurd turns, jammed it in the corner. Townshend Ripped it down for Lamb behind the net. Centered, but blocked nicely by Normand Rochefort. Read that one nice and brings to center. Rochefort dumped it in. Blocked. Rochefort shot wide of the net. And Sjerven will scoop it up and then play it and hold on. 7:44 to go in the third, and the Aeros lead at 5-3.
And this is a bigger game than maybe a lot of the players realize themselves, as we just got some scores through the IHL. And once again, Atlanta drops in a shootout 5-4. So they'll get 1 point. But if if the Aeros hold on to win this one with 7:44 left in the third, they could catch another point.
Well, no, what would happen is with Atlanta getting their point last night makes everything status quo as of the weekend.
Yeah, but they'll gain the point on the day.
You're right. Exactly. Purves sends one down. The Aeros were hoping to maybe gain some ground on Atlanta and could not do it. Here is Al Conroy across the line. His shot, that goes way back, nearly to the back of section 37 of the back area of the Cal Palace. Coming up on the month of February, just 2 games that you'll be able to see on UPN 20 for the Houston Aeros, and both are at the Rosemont Horizon, and both are against the Chicago Wolves. And that means you'll see both Rob Brown and Steve Malte till you're blue in the face. And we look forward to having you either on UPN 20 or, of course, our radio station, Super Talk Radio 950 KPRC. Face-off is Conroy against Dale Craigwell. Off the draw, it is Kevin Grant right side. Tries to move it down the right wing boards. Watched by Boyce. Jam behind the net for Malgunas. Malgunas centered one. Ooh, that went off Beauregard. And then Grollo went after Malgunas a little bit, but Malgunas backs away. So Kevin Malgunas, the calmer side of Kevin, if you will.
Yeah, he's played a good game for the shifts that he's had. And while I get the opportunity, wanted to say hi to everybody watching it. JJ's back home. I guess Kokanee's the drink of choice back there, and he said to have one for him, and he's played a good game thus far, getting a couple chances, not able to capitalize on them, but still working really hard and looking pretty good.
Hasn't seen a lot of ice this year, but with the injury situation now, Turgeon and Maurice, and now with Yo, we don't know about that. He's going to see some ice.
He's going to be called upon to make some big plays for the Aeros.
Here's Kevin Grant, the shot. That's stuck aside by Beauregard. It's sliced over the glass and out of play. 7:11 to go in the third, and a 5-3 Aero lead. And Jean Perron somehow trying to figure out a way to get a couple of goals in this time span, but the Aeros really have settled things down.
And that puck deflects way up into the stands and catches a fan, an older gentleman, in the face. You always got to watch it when you come to a hockey game. That little black disc can do some damage.
And look at the fans. Get out of the way so the security can get up there. That's too bad. I hope he's all right. Off the draw, it's Ron Langway. Steers one up the far boards, and it's cleared. Not out. Back into the corner. Now Robin Bawa off to the races. Here comes Bawa across the line. Dumps one into the corner. Back again. Bawa centered it. Knocked away by Kevin Grant. And Grant will move it up ice. Grant for Valimont, who is playing left wing again on this shift. Tell you what, he's not going to get our vote for Texaco Star of the game, but Carl Valimont should get my vote as one of the player of the game just for his utility role. He's played so much on different positions tonight and played effectively.
He's really worked hard, and that's what the Aeros wanted out of him tonight.
Yeah, that's what they needed. Here's Cote to drive. Hammered that wide of the net. Purves chased it down, but Cote got there first for San Francisco. Checked into the boards by Freer. Freer trying to dig it out. It came behind the net, and finally Jaques popped that away. Jaques rolled it out to center ice, and McCrory, who had to go back covering up for Cote, was pinching. The Aeros had to regroup at center, and what is that fell off of Freer's stick? Looks like tape that just came off. And they'll clean everything up. Well, we got a second. Let's give you all the scores in the IHL. They're all finals except for this one. Las Vegas went into Cleveland, beat them 6-3. A lot of shootouts tonight. LA beat Detroit in a shootout 6-5. Fort Wayne at home defeated Indianapolis 4-3 in a shootout. We talked about Kansas City at Atlanta 5-4 in a shootout. And here's one that's partial score. Chicago at Milwaukee tied at 3. They're starting the third period there. Utah 4, Minnesota 2, Orlando 6, Cincinnati 1, Peoria 2, Michigan 1. Here it is 5-3 Houston with 6:14 to go. Puck is in the San Francisco zone. Valimont left side, tried to turn one down, and Mario Doyon worked it away. Moves it down to center to Dale Craigwell. Craigwell across the line, made the move, lost the puck. Conroy takes over. Conroy worked it away, and he'll move it up the boards, and it's cleared out at center ice. It is Mario Doyon, right side. Pounds the puck ahead, knocked away, and Conroy's got a chance to move it up. Conroy circles back at center, trying to get it around Rymsha, and then fired it into the Spider zone. 5:40 to go in the third, and the Aeros up 5-3. It is Christian Proulx. Jammed one off the wall. Freer trying to hold, did so. Townshend pursued, but Ian Boyce is there. Cleared to the line, not out. Arniel held it in. Second effort, poked to neutral. Spiders tried to advance it, but the Aeros have it. Freer shot it into the San Francisco zone, and Christian Proulx moved right out in front of his goal crease. Now the puck worked away as Proulx and Freer tie up along the boards. And it's jammed away to the line, and Ian Boyce moves it out at center. Loose puck. Ooh, sticks got high as Ian Boyce got one a little high on Miles O'Connor. The puck goes into the San Francisco zone. We're at 5 minutes remaining, and the Aeros have 5 on the board. The Spiders 3. It is Vadim again, left side. Got it in. Christian Proulx there. Cleared to Purves. Center ice for San Francisco. Purves through the neutral zone. Dumped the puck in. Kruppke chased it down in the far corner. Purves takes him in there. Now along the near side. The Spiders tried to advance it, and Carl Vadim swing it out at center ice. Conroy to Lamb. Lamb dropped it back. Conroy has Vadim cutting to the net. Here's the chance. Puck was centered. No, knocked back. Now centered. The shot blocked as Kruppke tried to get one. Here come the Spiders. Grollo off the far side. Now Dave Maley barreling left wing. He's checked into the boards by Conroy. 4:20 remaining. Aeros with a 2-goal lead, but the Spiders turning. Grollo, right point. The shot deflected behind the Aero net. Hurlbutt chased it down. Scooped it to the line. Lamb trying to clear. Cannot. Held in by the Spiders, but now a free chance for Kruppke. He'll turn to the left side and move it out. His pass to Vadim, tipped into the Spider zone, and San Francisco will go back to play it. Rochefort, watched by Freer, gives to Purves near boards. Freer bumped him. Now Townshend's got a chance. Can he move it in? Townshend sends one. Arniel the drive. That went off Rochefort. Now a chance. Grant, a drive. That was deflected away. Aeros trying to come up with it, but Robin Bawa cleared. Not out. Townshend turning, winding, shooting, scoring! Graeme Townshend. The big drive in the left circle. And the Aeros lead it by 3. It is 6-3.
Beauregard had lost his stick and it got dumped into the corner, and actually it happened when Townshend was in front of the net working around there, and it got hooked on his pants, and it got thrown into the corner. He gets the puck and turns around the top of the circle, winds up at the last one, and guess where he shoots it? Low 5-hole. Grant gets a shot. Right here is where Townshend's in front, and the stick will get lodged in his pants and get thrown into the corner. Townshend will then regain the control of the puck. He'll cut across the top, and he'll shoot it low 5-hole, beating Beauregard, who had no stick, and that's the best place to shoot it on a goaltender who doesn't have a stick. And Townshend gets his second of the game, his 15th of the season, and it's a 6-3 hockey game.
Face off at center ice, and here is Mario Doyon. He'll work the puck ahead to the near side for Brent Bilodeau. Jammed it ahead. Now a chance for San Francisco. Rymsha trying to move it in. Here's Ron Langway. It went behind the net. Grant trying to move it ahead for Vadim, and it's back into the San Francisco zone. Ron Langway is there. Langway, the pass ahead. Here come the Spiders. Right side, Rymsha knocked away. Back at center and into the San Francisco zone. Doyon worked it for Cote, and Bullock sliced it back into the Aero zone. We're under 3 minutes to go. Jaques, rink wide Vadim. Aeros have a 3-on-2 if they hurry, but instead Vadim dumps it in. He needed a line change. Alain Cote, he will skate it up. Tip the pass ahead. Rymsha had it taken back by Graeme Townshend. Townshend turning in his own zone. Off the boards, Kelly Hurd. Here is Mark Lamb. Rolled it down the left side. Hurd pursues, chipped it in behind the cage, and Dale Craigwell is there. Christian Proulx. 2:28 remaining, past the length of the ice, goes into the Aero zone. Back to play it is Jaques. There's an icing call, and we take a timeout. 2:20 to go. 6-3 Houston. We'll bring it to you right after this. Side of Stefan Beauregard, and it's controlled by Francois Grollo. Off the boards, it's out at center. And Craigwell gets the pass ahead for Grollo, jammed in there by Arniel, knocked away by O'Connor as he's sized up by Boyce. It is Slivchenko to the right side. Rink wide pass too far for Arniel. And the Spiders have got it. Here comes John Purves at center. Purves hits the line. Purves looking, dropped it back in front, knocked away, and Slivchenko's off to the races. Here comes Slivchenko, cuts in, but it was knocked away. A nice defensive play there by Doyon. Doyon cleared it out at center, but there was Jaques to work it ahead. Doyon sliced it back into the Aeros zone. We're down to 1:35, and the Aeros are going to win this hockey game. Malgunas ahead for Valimon. Seeing a regular shift now on left wing. Why not? Cote. Fireboard. Spiders move it up. And here is John Purves at center. Checked in by Jaques. Back in the Spider zone for Doyon. Pass ahead. Bullock rather. And then it went up over the glass. And it's out of play. 1:13 to go. And a 6-3 Aero lead. And Carl Valimon, who was our first intermission guest, we asked him about kind of his role with this team, and he said, you know what? Whatever it takes.
I'll do whatever it takes, and that's a kind of attitude that just makes a winner. And Captain Al Conroy, who's just going off the ice.
Same attitude right there.
Exactly same attitude. Those kind of guys will do anything to help their team win, and that's why they're around. That's why they'll be around. And that's why they will persevere.
It is Kevin Grant. Sends it over to Steve Jaques with 1:07 to go. Lamb turned it into the San Francisco zone. Beauregard knocked it away to the far side for Pat Ferschweiler. Ferschweiler's pass ahead for Maley. Ripped a shot high over the net. Bounce to the near side, Kelly Hurd. And we're under a minute to go. Aeros lead at 6-3. Graeme Townshend with 2 goals tonight to Hurd. Bumped by Proulx. Ferschweiler trying to advance it. He had his pocket picked by Lamb, and now Townshend looking for 3 maybe. Townshend left side, pulls up, getting set, centering pass. That was knocked away by Bullock. He will move it up the right side for Ferschweiler. Out at center, Kruppke turned it ahead, and now Slivchenko. Slivchenko right side, makes the move, cuts in front. Here's Lamb, looks centered. Oh, and the shot. Well, Arniel couldn't get it. He found on it. Now a drive-by hurl, but is blocked, and the Spiders have got it. Out at center. They'll bring it across the line. Bullock tapped into the boards by Hurlbutt. And Slivchenko rolled it away to Arniel. And it's cleared out at center. 5 seconds left. The Aeros are winning this hockey game. And they will come away with a big 2 points after Atlanta loses in a shootout. So everything is status quo as far as the Aeros are concerned over the weekend. They do not gain any ground, but they do not lose any ground. And Graeme Townshend with his 2 goals helps propel the Aeros to the 6-3 win. Grant Sjerven, he had his moments in the second period, but other than that, pitched a pretty good hockey game tonight.
Certainly did. I thought he played pretty solid most of the game as the guys celebrating in front of the net, giving each other the gears. And it's good to see the guys happy. It's good to see them be rewarded with a good win. And Slivchenko had a good game as well. And there you see Grant Sjerven, who was pretty solid in the pipes tonight.
All right, Aeros win at 6-3, and we'll have all the post-game wrap-up when we return. This is Saturday Night on Ice. UPN 20 Saturday Night on Ice has been sponsored by Southwest Airlines, by Columbia Healthcare Partners, by Chrysler Plymouth, by Dodge, by Jeep Eagle, and by Whataburger. Well, the Houston Aeros hold on for a 6-3 win. You probably ask why hold on. Well, it was a very scary second period for the Houston Aeros, but kind of showed the character. Obviously, Dave Tippett getting something said in that third period, and they come out with a 6-3 win. It is time for the Southwest Airlines Just Plain Smart play of the game, and it belongs to Vadim Slivchenko.
Well, Slivchenko gets a good pass from Arniel up through the zone, and he does the rest here as Freer comes down giving support, but it's Slivchenko with a good move and the great shot at the end, and that's the play of the game.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Flying Southwest is just plain smart. Your thoughts on this hockey game, the way the Aeros battled back in that third period?
Well, I thought it was really positive to see them come out strong, then go through a little adversity, but come back strong again in the third period. It shows that they can stick with any team and play in any game, in any kind of situation. That's good to see, because when you come down the stretch there, you're going to see a lot more situations where there's back and forth kind of hockey games to show that you're strong enough to stay in a game and then prevail at the end is a good sign for the Houston Aeros.
All right, it's time for our Texaco star of the game, and there was a lot to choose from, but tonight we decided to go with Kelly Hurd, as he had a goal tonight against his former teammates, but he played a strong hockey game, I thought.
And an assist as well. It was good to see him play such a strong game, and he has been playing strong as of late, and so that's why he's our Texaco star of the game.
Yeah, and we should all have honorable mention. I think Slivchenko played a good game tonight with his 2 goals. Graeme Townshend had a pair of goals tonight, so where the Aeros are starting to look for some offense, maybe they're starting to find it. I guess if you're Dave Tippett and Pete Dineen, the question is, how do you get it every night now?
Well, that's a question every coach is going to ask, but it's good to see that they are getting it from guys that maybe they don't expect to get it from so often.
So the Aeros go on to win it by a score of 6-3. Again, they do not gain really any ground on the Atlanta Knights as far as the weekend is concerned. The Aeros, with their 5-2 loss against Phoenix last night, they lost ground because Atlanta lost in a shootout. So the Atlanta Knights gained a point last night. They gained another point tonight on their shootout loss to Kansas City. But the Aeros, with their 2 points tonight, are back within 6. So they're in striking distance. They still have to keep their eye on Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, because you've got 9 teams in the Eastern Conference, 8 go to the playoffs. So, I mean, it's going to take some work, but I think the Aeros are in a good position here if they can start putting some wins together to get into the playoffs.
Well, even in the games that they lost, minus the Phoenix game, you look how close they were in the game, and they were involved in every game. So sooner or later, they're going to start winning those games by 1 or 2 goals instead of losing them, and it's going to really prove well for them.
All right, let's take a look at the final stats. They're brought to you by your local Jeep and Eagle dealers. 31-20, the Spiders outshoot the Aeros. Scoring chances 17-12 in favor of San Francisco. But look at the faceoffs, 41-30. The Aeros centers owning the faceoff circle tonight. Aeros finished 1 of 3 on the power play. Spiders finished 2 of 7. Aeros 11 penalties for 36 minutes. The San Francisco Spiders 5 penalties for 18 minutes. So now a week off, and again, let's reiterate, the Aeros need this week. We do not know the update on Mike Yeo. Hopefully he will be okay. But Greener, thank you very much for your help tonight.
And thank you.
All right. So the Aeros looking for the week to get everybody healed, and we'll have all that for you when the Aeros resume play against the Fort Wayne Comets. The executive producer and director of Saturday Night on Ice is Paul Bykowski. Remote production facilities provided by Maynard Video Productions. Transmission services provided by the Hughes Television Network. Coming up next on UPM 20 is showtime at the Apollo. Saturday Night on Ice continues February 10th when the Aeros take on